Guaranteed victory right here, baby. Clemson's finna do this thing. White and orange, baby, white and orange.
The guys in the gold helmets might have something to say about that as Boston College and Clemson do battle this afternoon in Death Valley. Welcome, live from Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, as Jefferson Pilot Sports presents Citgo's ACC Game of the Week between the Boston College Eagles and the Clemson Tigers. Good afternoon, everybody. Steve Martin here along with Rick Walker. And, Doc, I think we've got some star power that rivals Brooks and Dunn this afternoon with Matthias Kiwanuka, Boston College, and Charlie Whitehurst at Clemson.
Two big-time players that have more than lived up to the billing. Kiwanuka, you watch him, bottom of your screen, 94, he's 6'7", 262 pounds, and the kid can run. He gets up and, more importantly, has that will to succeed and eat quarterbacks alive. Charlie Whitehurst, 6'5", 215-pound quarterback, has all the throws in his arsenal. His experience has really paid off, and he can make throws in the move. That's why Clemson's tough.
Of course, execution on offense is very important to both teams. With that in mind, Doc, let's take a look at our Toyota keys to the game. First for Boston College.
Well, Boston College, they love smash mouth football. That big offensive line, and L.B. Whitworth, this kid's averaging 4.3 a carry. Patrick Ross, their all-star center, and that offensive line, they want to have over 150 yards on the ground. Defensively, Clemson's front seven, this is the key. They got to step up. They got to match power with quickness and tenacity. And of course, Trey Tate, he's going to be the key. Has a bad groin. He's excellent on the defensive line. He's going to have to hang in and play the entire game.
Boston College has played in some tough venues. Penn State, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame. Today, they're about to get themselves a dose of solid orange as they pay their first visit to Death Valley in 23 years to take on the Clemson Tigers. Welcome back to Death Valley, and there is Howard's Rock as the Clemson Tigers get ready to take part in one of the divisions that is known as the most thrilling 30 seconds in college football. Let's head to the field right now. Our third man in the booth is going to be Scott Brzezwanski.
Thanks, Steve. You know, there's been no honeymoon period at all for Boston College in joining the ACC. First, they had one of the toughest teams in the land. Now they're playing in one of the toughest venues in all of college football right here in Death Valley. It all begins in the east end zone with the Clemson Tigers touching Howard's Rock, and here come the Tigers on the field.
Back at Memorial Stadium, 80,000, and a lot of them wearing orange this afternoon as Clemson hosts Boston College. Both were narrow losers to Florida teams last week. Here's a look at the series summary between these two schools presented by Schutt Sports, the gear that makes the game. Clemson leads this series, but neither one of them have played since 1983. Their last meeting in Death Valley was a tie in 1982 with the Tigers coming off a national championship. The coach at BC at the time was Jack McNally, and he had a diminutive quarterback by the name of Doug Flutie, and they tied him at 7 all. There's Tom O'Brien. He knows the ACC well, even though this is their first year in it. He coached a long time, 14 years at Virginia, most of it as offensive coordinator under George Welch. Tommy Bowden, of course, second week in a row that Tom O'Brien has faced a member of the Bowden family. He faced Bobby last week, didn't come out too good at the home field. And, of course, he's hoping for better things in Boston College's first ACC road game today. Our weather couldn't be warmer. It doesn't look like fall in here at all, except for the orange on the bodies of the Clemson fans. That's all you find here. 85 degrees. It feels warmer than that. The humidity at 40%. Not much of a breeze. That's only at the top of the stadium. There's not a breath of air on the floor. This could be an advantage, Doc, for Clemson as the day wears on. They practice in this every day.
Yeah, it's tough to overcome this humidity. Thank goodness we've been training for that triathlete. So we are, swimming, running, jogging, biking the whole 9 yards. I was a little bit surprised that Clemson came out in the dark jerseys and that they didn't put Boston College, in the dark shirts.
Yep, that's right. Would have held in a little more heat. There's Dwayne Coleman. He'll receive the kick. Clemson was elected to receive here in the first half. Ryan Oliger to kick it off for Boston College, and we are underway. Coleman, 7 yards deep, and that's where Clemson will take over at the 20-yard line on the touchback. As we take a look at Charlie Whitehurst, the senior quarterback, grad student actually, fifth-year senior out of Duluth, Georgia. He's having an outstanding season so far, completing 66% of his passes for 651 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. His junior season was a nightmare. 7 TD passes, 17 interceptions. But under Rob Spence as his new offensive coordinator, things are going a whole lot better. First and 10 at the 20.
Sometimes less is better.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what they're doing. Split backfield. Whitehurst to throw on first down. It's a short one, and it's going to go to Aaron Kelly, and he is brought down immediately by Larry Anam for no gain. Let's take a look at our Chevy starting lineups for the Clemson offense. James Davis, true freshman running back, 7th in the ACC in rushing. Chancey Stuckey, Curtis Bayham, Bobby Williamson, the wideouts, and Steven Jackson, the fullback up front. Barry Richardson, 8 starts as a true freshman, now a sophomore. He's the left tackle. Watch him, along with Pilgrim, Fry, Bennett, and Dukes. Second down and about 9. Ball at the 21, and there's movement before. Washington got across. A flag is down as Davis is brought down in the backfield, but I think this is going to go against BC. We'll wait for the call. Scott McElwee is our official this afternoon, our referee.
Defense in the neutral zone at the snap. Number 56. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, let's take a look at our Chevy starting lineups for Boston College defensively. While we're talking about Mr. Washington, the guy lined up right next to him, you'll watch all day, Matthias Kiwanuka. They've got 3 great linebackers. Henderson, fronted by Toal and Brown. And in the secondary, it is Dewan Dribble and Ryan Glasper, Larry Anam, and Jasmine Williams for Boston College. Second down now, coming up in 4 on the penalty. And again, it's going to be Raji offsides. So for 2 straight plays, talked about this with Rob Spence yesterday. He says they've simplified things, but they've changed snap counts. So it's helped bring the focus to the offense.
In the neutral zone, number 90, 5-yard penalty, first down.
I think it's one of the real advantages if you have an experienced quarterback that he can really use the snap count as an offensive weapon. And some quarterbacks, especially younger ones, they get in the rhythm of just going on 2. And you're playing against a defensive line that you now negate your advantage for your offensive lineman. So, smart move.
It's going to be 1st and 10. The ball moved out of bounds beyond the 30-yard line. Fake handoff, and Whitehurst is on his way. Might be a busted play. And he is brought down at the 32-yard line. Jasmine Williams and Larry Anam on the stop.
Talk about key breaker. That definitely would be a key breaker for Clemson.
I'm telling you. Well, Whitehurst has run more effectively this year.
Oh,
it's 56 yards on the ground.
Averaging 4.8 a crack for Whitehurst. When I saw the stats, I said, go, Charlie. Good kid, too. I really like him. I had a chance to sit down with him at our ACC conference meeting, and he's was a treat.
Kiwanuka lines up to the open inside on 2nd and about 9. Rolling left, that's Whitehurst. Pass complete. And that is Kelvin Grant. And Dewan Tribble in on the stop for Boston College. It will be a gain on the play of about 3. It'll get out to the 35-yard line.
Steve, the thing I like so far, move the pocket. Go at Kiwanuka and keep 2 people in his path. Sometimes it's better to go at him than away from him because he pursues the ball so well.
Kiwanuka will line up to the left side this time. That brings him into Barry Richardson's neighborhood on 3rd down and 6. There's 3rd down conversion for Clemson, right at above 30%. Blitz coming on. That looks like Toal coming in, and he got Charlie Whitehurst back at the 25-yard line. Brian Toal, a sophomore out of Wyckoff, New Jersey.
Great call. That's why you want to stay out of 3rd down, an obvious passing situation. That's the perfect no-hitter. I mean, you think who was assigned to him? Is that the quarterbacks? I don't think so. You have to have eyes in the back of his head. Somebody missed one. It's a great call. It's a chess match that time. Advantage Boston College.
Loss of 8. Richardson saying, I had Kiwanuka, but Kiwanuka blocked. Who's got 16? 4th down and 14. Toal chasing on to kick. He's had troubles this year. Clemson last in punting in the ACC. And this is going to be Tribble who returns it to the 50-yard line. So it is going to be excellent field position for Boston College as they're on the verge of putting Clemson in the short field defensively. Just a 35-yard kick. As we look at the quarterback for BC today, it will be sophomore Matt Ryan, subbing for Quentin Porter, whose ankle injury will keep him out of this one. Ryan's numbers impressive, 14 of 19, 72%. Yet to throw a touchdown pass, but with the running game they've got, won't need it. 1st and 10 at the Clemson 48-yard line. L.B. Whitworth, the eye back, he's got it. And he gets a nice 5 or 6 yard gain, maybe more, down to the 41-yard line. Jamal Fudge comes up with the tackle along with Tremaine Billy. Once again, our Chevrolet starting lineups for Boston College. L.B. Whitworth, fourth in the ACC. Will Blackman, converted defender. Patrick Ross, 29th straight start, and the captain at center with Trueblood, Martin, Beekman, and Cherilus.
That was a good play for BC. Clemson had a run through. They just picked the wrong gap, so that sometimes it helps to be a little lucky.
2nd and 4. Ryan out of the shotgun to throw to the corner to complete to the tight end Miller. He rumbles down to the 32-yard line, and he's brought down there by Ty Hill.
Good, safe call. You know, for your quarterback, you get Matt Ryan, get his blood flowing properly. You know, don't put him under a lot of pressure. You're going out to, you know, the high IQ guys, the tight ends. You know, these guys are going to make the grab for you, and they know how to get to the sticks.
To the 32-yard line, spoken like a true tight end. Out of the eye back, Whitworth into the hole. Shot down, but he got about 3 yards on the carry, and coming up to make the stop, C.J. Gaddis.
Boy, Gaddis, that's the way you got to break the hammer, my friend. You take on the run with power.
Clemson with their D-line. Charles Bennett leads the way. Trey Tate, Corey Groover, Gaines Adams, a mobile front four. Anthony Waters leading tackler and leads the ACC in tackles for loss. You saw Ty Hill, C.J. Gaddis, Jamal Fudge, Sergio Gilliam. Those are the deep backs for Tommy Bowden's Tigers. 2nd down and 7 now to the 3-yard gain. Ryan back to throw. Has a man to the flats. It's going to be to his fullback. Pass is complete to the 20-yard line. That's going to be Mark Palmer, brought down by Tremaine Billy. Palmer's caught 3 balls already this season, and he moves the chains.
Again, if you're patient on offense, and with that big, strong offensive line, you give your quarterback a chance to just work his way into it. Nice, safe throw, running catch. Mark Palmer, good hands, just like running off tackle.
Matt Ryan from Exton, Pennsylvania, sophomore, played most of the second half against Florida State a week ago. Had a start last year against Syracuse. Here's Whitworth, and he is brought down from behind. It's Corey Groover helping out on the tackle, and he gets about a 2-yard gain down to the 18-yard line. Groover, the senior from Johnsonville, South Carolina. Now Boston College in the red zone. Let's see what they've done this year. 13 times they've scored 11. 8 of them have been touchdowns. Call to recycle.org. Red zone. 2nd down and 7. Ryan out of the shotgun. Sprints out, and he'll tuck it under and run, and wisely gets out of bounds at the 15-yard line, a gain of 3.
Great protection. And if anything, Matt probably should have taken off earlier because he had nobody breathing down his neck. And once a quarterback, I always felt that once a quarterback goes out, takes that first hit, once again, even runs more of those butterflies out of the system.
3rd down and 5. Boston College is tops in the ACC in 3rd down conversion. They're at 46%. Nearly 50% of the time they convert.
Clemson going to have to bring some heat on this one.
Ryan out of the shotgun with Whitworth back in reserve. The pass incomplete. No, it's not intercepted. Just about everybody in the Clemson secondary had a chance to bring that ball down. They don't, but it brings the kicker on.
That's the kind of big play that Clemson really needed. Jamal Fudge looked like he had an opportunity at it. Again, ball thrown maybe just a little high, and a little hot, little high. You got to have that one right in your belly, especially when you're going right into the guts of a defense. And Clemson needed a hero on that one.
33-yard field goal attempt coming. There you see it again. Oh, Gilliam had a shot. Ryan Oliger, the kick from 33. It is up, and it is good. Boston College on the board first as they take advantage of good field position and drive the ball 48 yards downfield for a Ryan Oliger field goal. It's 3-0 Boston College. ACC football is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Steve Martin here along with Rick Dot Walker, Scott Brzezwanski on a heated day at Clemson, but I can assure you those fans don't care that it's 85 degrees out here this afternoon.
This is great football weather. If you're enclosed in one of those luxury suites, air conditioned, you know what I mean? A little nice beverage to your side.
Right, Ryan Oliger to kick. He just hit a 33-yard field goal, his 5th of the season. This one again goes out of the end zone. Dwayne Coleman makes the better decision of it. And we'll take it out to the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Scoring drive for the Boston College Eagles. 8 plays, 33 yards, 2:37 to execute. Oliger with a 33-yard field goal. But Doc, you mentioned this is a BC team that likes to start quickly.
Yeah.
They came up with 3, probably should have had 7.
Should have had 2. And again, you can't put a lot of pressure on the young quarterback, but I really thought that if Matt Ryan runs on that second down, he picks it up. And of course, the pass was a little high. And so you got to give advantage on this case to Clemson.
Tigers come out with it, just giving up 3 points. Charlie Whitehurst, who's hit both passes he's thrown today. Under center at the 20. Handoff goes to Davis, and he's hit in the backfield. Jasmine Williams and B.J. Raji.
I like him. I think he's a difference maker.
Aaron's scoreboard shows the Tar Heels over the Wolfpack in Raleigh this afternoon in the first. Of course, Clemson's going to have to go up against the team that is 3rd best in the country against the run.
Yeah.
Only allowed 13 yards to Florida State last week.
Raji, I really like this kid. He showed me a lot against the Seminoles. He's 337 pounds, 6'1". That means he's a block of ice. And boy, if he gets under your pad, you're going backwards.
Rob Spence says he looks like he belongs on Miami's defensive line. Rolling right, here's Whitehurst. Pass to the left to Kelly. Nice leap and grab for Kelly to the 24-yard line. Aaron Kelly, a redshirt freshman out of Marietta, Georgia. And Rob Spence, offensive coordinator, says this kid has a chance to be something special before his career is done at Clemson.
Well, you know, he got a lot of aid on that. They were able to get Matthias Kiwanuka down on the ground. See what bottom of the screen. See the cut block right there. That's the key because they're able to get him down. Dukes, a lot of guys cut and get perfect no-hitters. That time Dukes extended his body and he got Matthias down.
Kiwanuka on the sidelines this time around on 3rd down. Whitehurst with some time steps up in the pocket and hits his fullback. He's going to be shy of the first down. Harrell is out to the 29-yard line. Charlie Whitehurst against Miami. 55 balls he threw, 31 completed, 288 yards. That interception in the 3rd quarter, the only turnover for the Clemson Tigers in their first 3 games of the season.
That's the big difference this year for the Tigers, is that they're not as friendly with the opponents and giving away gifts.
In fact, they're tops in the ACC in not only turnovers, but they're tops in penalties. They are the least penalized team in the conference.
Hard to lose when you have talent and you play smart.
Cole Chasen hit a 33-yarder first time around. This one is going to take a Clemson bounce down inside the 29-yard line and help his yardage. He's in the spotlight today because Tommy Bowden's patience with his punt game is diminishing. Timeout on the field with Boston College leading 3-0. We'll be back after this word from your local station. Welcome back to Death Valley, our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game. Look at this. Nearly a ton up that front line. Sherrill is Beekman, Ross, Martin, Trueblood total 1,586 yards. That's 317 per person. Tommy Bowden says the only way we'll offset that is to keep them off the field, their defense on, and hopefully this sun will wear that weight down.
Yeah, and you know what? All those stats wouldn't mean squat if these guys weren't good athletes. They are excellent athletes. Most of them former track participants, and that's the difference.
1st and 10, 29-yard line of Boston College. Ryan for his 2nd series. They pick up the blitz, and they pick up the hot receiver. Out in the flats, that is going to be Will Blackman, a converted defensive back, tackled by Lionel Richardson, who's at the Sam Backer position. Blackman out of Cranston, Rhode Island. Let's look at it again.
Oh, Will showed me something on this. Good play fake, make good block at the point of attack, throw, catch. Now here's where Will go. Uh-oh, he almost lost the first down. Came to his senses and showed you why this kid is one of the best athletes in America.
Up to the 43-yard line, 14-yard gain for Blackman, who probably will go in the NFL as a defensive back. Handoff now comes to Andre Callender, the 2nd tailback of the BC attack, and he's up over the midfield stripe to the 49-yard line. Coming up to make the tackle, C.J. Gaddis, David Dunham also in on the play with Trey Tate.
Callender showed there was patience. You know, Patrick Ross, big old center trying to get in front of him. You know, the great backs have to understand how to run with a big line. You know, sometimes you let blocks develop and then you get guys good acceleration at the point of attack.
7-yard gain brings up 2nd down and 3. The ball right at midfield. And off Callender again. Slowed up at the middle, but still surges ahead for 3. Picking up the tackle is Quam Williams, a backup defensive end, a sophomore out of Atlanta.
Clemson has some sugar and spice on that one. That's what they have to do. They've got to be disruptive. They've got to capture the line of scrimmage and beat them with quickness and tenacity. That time, again, a back, and as I always say, I judge a back after contact. What do you do after the first hit that counts? That was a pretty good short run.
Close enough to measure. That's how good it was, Doc. Bring the chain crew out here on a very warm day in the upstate of South Carolina. Here comes the chain, and they are going to be shy a Scott Kozlowski credit card.
I saw that American Express Platinum he broke out last night. Yeah, pretty impressive.
The table bent.
Yep.
Under the weight. There's Tommy Bowden. His defense will be faced with 3rd and inches. Not a great position to be in. Tom O'Brien stoic on the Boston College sideline.
These are moments that Tom kind of should feel pretty comfortable with.
Yeah.
Got those big old horses you've been feeding all year. Now you get a chance to get some payback.
Palmer and Brian Toal, the short yardage back, gets the handoff. Toal, coming over from the defense, has got the first down. He's scored 2 touchdowns already, both against Army. He's carried the ball 8 times, but he's their short yardage specialist.
Yeah, it gives him a little bit more size at 238 pounds. And it's a heck of a responsibility, but got to be quite a thrill to run behind that size and that athleticism up front in that offensive line.
A great article in the Boston Globe Friday about the cultural differences that Boston fans would find down here. I wonder just how they liked it in the drive-through bait stand. Live bait. Drive the pickup in, put the minnows in the back, and you're on your way.
Get them good old hot peanuts, though, boy. Can't beat that.
I don't think you find boiled peanuts at Alumni Stadium.
I saw some out on the road driving in, man. They were selling some boiled peanuts and something was boiled.
Callender gets down to the 40-yard line. Nice gain on the play. Waters on the tackle.
Boy, this is a tough run. Good shot. Fullback Palmer there. You know, you get a fullback, it tells so much about the personality of your team. And Clemson's doing what they've got to do. Gang tackle. They got to strip balls. They got to go after this. It's going to be a long day, but they've got to hang in there.
2nd down and 4 for BC. Back to throw. Here's Ryan. His pass complete to the fullback. That's Palmer. He stretches ahead and may have enough for the first down. The mark is good at the 34-yard line. Lionel Richardson on the tackle.
Think about BC, off tackle, then a little play action fake. The thing now is that he's had a lot of time. It was a good catch. Palmer once again showed you blocking. Now he's showing you some range out in the flat with good hands. And what Clemson has to do is, if they're going to counter this, is do it in one big play. Or get pressure on the quarterback, because BC right now is in control.
Moving the chains, 1st and 10. Adams in pursuit of Ryan. His pass complete to Blackman, and he is knocked out of bounds very close to the first down marker inside the 25-yard line.
I think he got it right at the end.
Yep. Ty Hill in on the tackle once again to our Aaron scoreboard. Game going on as we are up in Raleigh. NC State trailing North Carolina 7-0. Ohio State leading Iowa. Top 25 teams in the Big Ten. That's where Michigan State with a big win at Notre Dame last week, 7-0 over Illinois. We'll be filling you in on our Aaron scoreboard throughout the afternoon. Right now, Boston College leading here 3-0, and they've got another first down. Doc was right. Our yellow line does not lie. Look at it. Right there at the 24-yard line. Boston College with now 6 first downs to Clemson's 1, and that 1 came by penalty.
And show you one of the reasons why Boston College is so good in the first couple of quarters. They put points on the board. They come out with a real good rhythm within their offense. They have balance. They can run it. They're really good out in the flats. A lot of teams, you look at the numbers, and they threw a lot, but really those are outside runs if you like to look at it that way.
Yep.
Using their fullback, using their tight end, and that's the one thing that this team has really mastered.
80 yards total for the Eagles here early on, and they've got the football again, and this time approaching the red zone from the 24-yard line. And Matt Ryan is a little mixed up with that Clemson defensive alignment. He'll call a timeout. We've got a timeout on the field. The Ryan Oliger field goal is all we've got to speak for here so far in this first quarter. Boston College up 3-0. 1st and 10. Clemson needs an answer for this Boston College D offense, and they found one. in the person.
He's like Jason, or Jackson, rather.
That is Jackson, number 91. Comes up with the tackle on Andre Callender, and that throws him for a loss.
Well, you know, Boston College will just beat you like with a mallet. Just constant pressure, jab to the body. So you got to come over the top with something exciting. That's exactly what Mr. Jackson did. And I love his enthusiasm. That's the only way you're going to counter this Boston College and this huge offensive line.
Rasheed Jackson, a redshirt freshman from Union, South Carolina. The little toss to Callender. Gets some real estate down inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. And it is going to be a gain of about 8 yards. Gaines Adams pushed the pocket a little bit.
Coach Bible, what a call. Was that the perfect call for the defense? The Tigers come with the pressure. Great call, good execution, good little chip outside. And I tell you what, and you don't have to be a whole lot, but it's pretty effective.
3rd down and 4. Lester is split wide out to the bottom side. Solomon to the top. Clemson changes up inside. Ryan now will run and has the first down at the 12-yard line. He needed the 15. Tackled on the play by Charles Bennett, the 5th-year senior from Camden, South Carolina.
Oh, Matt Ryan, he's showing everybody a little something this afternoon. The key, he doesn't hesitate. You take a look at it, it's not there, tuck it, because the Tigers were going up trying to knock the ball out, which they should do. That's good coaching on the defensive side of the ball. But right now, Matt Ryan is earning his keep. And you better believe inside that huddle, they're starting to get a real affection for this young man and a belief.
1st and 10, Boston College operating at the 11-yard line. This is the 10th play of a drive that started at their 29. Handoff, L.V. Whitworth straight ahead down to the 7. And he's brought down there by Trey Tate and also Tremaine Billy.
You know, Chris Miller, tight end, he's 270 pounds, so add him to that big offensive line.
Let's look at Clemson's defense in the red zone. 14 times teams have been there. They have 7 touchdowns and been held to 6 field goals. That's a look at the red zone. Visit calltherecycle.org to find the battery and cell phone collection sites nearest you. 12th play now of the drive. 2nd down coming.
Good sprint call now. Move that pocket.
Play action. Ryan over the middle, a man in the end zone. Picked off. Jamal Fudge. Doc, you called for a big play. You got it.
Well, Jamal missed the first one. We don't often get a second chance in life, but if you do, you better cash in. And that's exactly what Jamal did. Little play action, and maybe not the kind of pace on the play and throw that you like. Maybe he hesitated just a bit, or just maybe it was a great break on the ball. But Jamal Fudge really took the Tigers out of the danger zone here, because this would have been 6.
Pass intended for the tight end Ryan Thompson. Picked off by Fudge in the end zone. We'll see it again.
Yeah, that's tough. Boy, you know, woulda, shoulda, coulda. But that's why we play the games. And I guarantee Chris Miller's on the sideline. He was open in the flat. It's going to say, Matt, next time, give me a look.
1st and 10. Whitehurst out of the shotgun, trying to get positive yardage out of the run game, and not much going on there to the 21-yard line. Tommy Bowden said yesterday, we've got to find ways to run the football. And you and I, Doc, talked about Clemson cannot expect to get the yardage they want today out of the run or out of their offense if Whitehurst has to throw 55.
Yeah, well, you know, the good thing about it is that Clemson was able to keep points off the board, but Boston College still has the understanding that we know what we just did and we can do it again.
2nd down coming for the Tigers. Back to throw with time. Whitehurst, little flare pass to Davis to get him some running room, but there's not much there. Ramella in on the tackle, and our Suzuki walk-on way of life featured player from Clemson University is Cole Downer, senior tight end, a walk-on from Chantilly, Virginia. Last week caught his first ever touchdown pass. He left the game later with a ruptured spleen. Tim Beret, sports information director, thus comes up with the stat. He is the first Clemson player to ever catch a touchdown and rupture a spleen in the same game.
Leave it to Timothy, I'll tell you.
That's Cole Downer. Tommy Bowden. Yeah, Tim's a laugh machine, that guy is, huh? 3rd down now. Pass is incomplete, intended for Kelly. A little slant inside, and it wasn't going to work. And pushing the pocket that time inside. He had a lot of heat.
Steve, if you want to measure your defensive personality, have an offensive team turn the ball over and watch your defense come in and get 3 and out. That tells me volumes about the Eagles. I mean, a lot of teams going, oh my goodness, we lost a scoring opportunity. They go right in and put the flame out.
On 3 possessions, they've allowed 1 play over the minimum.
That's pretty impressive.
That is.
Pretty impressive.
4th down coming. Cole chasing now with his 3rd punt of the afternoon. Got some air under this one. Solomon calls for a fair catch. And it's taken down at the 36-yard line. It's going to be a punt of 41 yards for Cole Chasen. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Atlantic Coast Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited.
Strange time in the ball game, Steve. If you're Boston College, you say, look what we've done. Look at all the numbers we've racked up. But look at the scoreboard, 3-zip. Clemson has dodged a bullet. And all you got to do is say, forget the pass, and somebody's got to make a play. Good ball game.
Palmer and Whitworth the setbacks. Matt Ryan, 6 of 8, 58 yards, an interception. Back at work. 1st and 10. Pass is knocked down. Knocked down on the play by Ty Hill.
Boy, that's a great break on the football. Certain guys just have a knack for that, boy. That's that. Sometimes quickness is a little bit better than speed.
Timeout on the field. That's the end of the 1st quarter. With the score, Boston College leading Clemson in this Death Valley battle, 3-0. Welcome back to Clemson, where Sitco presents ACC football from Jefferson Pilot Sports. Boston College leading Clemson 3-0. Steve Martin here with Rick Doc Walker and Scott Brzezwanski. Tom O'Brien's team has moved up and down the field. They've got the ball for the 4th time today, but only have 3 points to show for it. Handoff now goes to Whitworth, and Whitworth up over the 40-yard line to the 42. Time for our Progress Energy report as we look at the 1st quarter stats, and everything heavily favored for the Boston College Eagles. 7 of 1 first downs, and look at the rushing yard.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's not what you expect when you see the Clemson Tigers, but the bottom line is that they haven't had possessions.
No.
And this is the thing that BC is so good at. They just stifle you. They keep the ball. They're able to get it out of your hands, and all that's missing now is 1 big play offensively.
Oldest player in that defensive line for Clemson's a sophomore as Ryan goes back to throw. His pass is complete. And it's caught by Brandon Robinson, wide receiver, freshman.
You know, a lot of people pass for style points. BC, they throw the football for efficiency, for effectiveness, to move the chains, take the spots that you give them, and that's a pretty good job by a young receiver in Robinson, who found the sweet spot, settled down, and caught the football.
2 freshmen from Minneapolis, a 16-yard gain, 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Whitworth, and he's going nowhere. Good pursuit at the line of attack. Clay led the charge.
Tigers getting Scott involved in that too. Another freshman, Rel Scott, he got involved in that play. The way you deal with muscle, buddy, is you got to deal with heart, because you're not going to gain 30, 40 pounds overnight, so you got to beat it with quickness, persistence. You got to make sure if you got gap control, you got to be where you're going to be and hope that your friends follow.
2nd down. Ryan play action, back to throw. Pass is complete. It's to Saleh. And he is brought down to the 42-yard line, a gain of about 6 on the play. Let's go to the sideline. Scott Brzezwanski and a special guest.
Yeah, Michael Dean Perry, one of the best to ever play down here in Clemson. And as a defensive tackle, going up against a big offensive line like Boston College is, what would you do to try to combat that?
I'll tell you what, one thing we got to do is penetrate. We play on their side of the ball, then we have a chance to make it 2nd and long, 3rd and long. If they keep getting 4 and 5 yards, hey, they're going to wear us out.
Appreciate your time, Mike.
Thank you.
Back up to you.
Thank you, Scott. 3rd down now, and a long 2 for Boston College out of the shotgun. Matt Ryan playing in place of Quentin Porter. Pass is complete. Larry Lester Brings it down at the 31-yard line, a 9-yard pickup, and it moves the chains for BC. Michael Hamlin backing up C.J. Gaddis at the strong
Another
safety
freshman, Steve-O. Philip Merling did a good job inside pass rusher right here. See, he got pressure. He forced Ryan out of the pocket, and the kid slid with grace because he didn't get rattled by it. Kept his shoulder square, made a good throw and catch. And again, the efficiency of Boston College. Piece of work.
Ryan 9 of 12, 86-yard and 1 interception. Back to throw on first down. Pass is complete. This time to Solomon. And a short gain out to the 25-yard line. It'll be 6. Brings up second down and 4. But BC has been in a bunch of second and shorts so far this afternoon.
Yeah, they really have.
Aaron's scoreboard. No change in that Tar Heel Wolfpack battle. Up in Raleigh. Miami leading Colorado 3-0. Buoyed by their win here in triple overtime. Ohio State with a touchdown lead over Iowa. Minnesota's got a field goal on 11th ranked Purdue. Second down and 3. BC at the Clemson 24. Ryan to throw. Pass complete to Solomon. A shirt tackle doesn't work. He's thrown ahead, and he's got the first down on the throw ahead. Tackle made by Quam Williams.
What Will Blackman shows you his versatility. Another young man we had a chance to spend some time with. The ACC means the play action. Everything comes off the play action fake because they can run the football. And when you're effective running the football, you can freeze those linebackers with play action.
Gilliam missed a tackle that would have set the play for a loss. BC getting ready for their 27th play. Clemson's only run 10. Ryan handoff to Callender. Callender open territory, 10-5 and close to the end zone. He'll be down to the 1.
Now that was the big play this offense needed. Again, Callender has shown us at 205 pounds, a real burst going on that left side, true blood. And Martin, the left side, tackle and guard. Good block at the point of attack by Beekman, the off guard. Now you watch him square those pads up, anticipate contact, and keep moving forward. Hey, you watch it there. When you watch an offensive line that's in sync, that has some experience, it's just a piece of work.
Callender gets all the way down to the 1-yard line. And it's a timeout on the field with 11-19. We're going to hold it right here as Boston College talks things over. They're in the red zone again. They're right down, pressed up against the end zone, in fact.
Clemson has to say to itself, remember, we went toe-to-toe with the Canes, took it in overtime. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. But if they get discouraged by this methodical pace, which BC employs, which will lure you to sleep, and eventually you wake up deceased, they got to get some life. They got to have enthusiasm. If they give up points, say, hey, it's only down 10, and that they have a chance. If not, buddy, there'll be no traffic problem after this ball game.
That's exactly. First and goal. Boston College from the 1 of Clemson. Handoff goes to Toal, and he is close to it.
His helmet's over. I don't think the football made it.
Nope. Linesman right on the spot.
This time Clemson was able to capture the line of scrimmage. Look how low those guys are. You talking about, oh, Johnny Majors a bit, you'd say low man wins. In that case, excellent job by the Clemson Tiger defensive line for getting down there and rooting them out.
Toal stopped short. Mike Owens, the linesman, right in there on the call. Toal still back there in the backfield. Second down and goal. Ryan calls his own number. He may be in. Touchdown, Ryan. Boston College.
Impressive. Matt Ryan has had quite a good start. Very effective. One mistake, I guarantee you that very hard to beat that when your number 2 quarterback can come in and keep that offense rolling in the right direction.
Churn down the field in 11 plays. Ryan Oliger to kick the point after. Oliger is 8 for 9 coming in on PATs this season out of Ryan's hold. And there's the kick. And it curls inside the upright for the point after. Matt Ryan on the call from second and goal, and he's easily in over the right guard and center. Boston College now stretches their lead to 10-0 over Clemson. There's Matt Ryan getting a little relief from the heat. He was 5 for 5 on that drive that resulted in a touchdown. Boston College leading here 10-0. 10.5 left to go in the second quarter. Ryan Oliger hasn't had a kickoff returned on him yet. Let's see if Dwayne Coleman will bring this one back. 4 yards deep, he does. Get it to the sideline and is knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line. We have minus yardage on the ground so far in this second quarter of play, and they are minus 10 on the scoreboard.
But they're not an offense that has to panic because of this young man about to receive the football, Charlie Whitehurst.
He's brought him from behind before. The play action to Merriweather, the pullout, and the pass incomplete, nearly intercepted. Jackson couldn't hang on.
Would have been a bit of a panic had Jackson pulled that one in.
Yeah. Tyrone Pruitt was covering on the play and almost was gifted with a football to the stomach.
As an offensive player, you sit on the sidelines, you see your defense, you feel bad, you want to jump in, you get in there and try to do points. All they need is a completion.
Last thing you want is the defense to be staring at you when you come off the field.
You don't want that.
No.
Especially the way some of those guys on defense look.
Looks are not a prerequisite. Stuckey in motion across the formation, out of play action. A screen, it goes to Merriweather, trying to get some traction on this play, and does. The most positive yardage of the day by Clemson's offense. 9 yards out to the 29-yard line. Jolan Dunbar in on the tackle out of Syracuse, New York.
Oh, B.J. Raji, I like this kid's motor. A good call on the screen by Coach Spence. Now he's getting rid of people. You mentioned Merriweather on the field, and he makes a big play under hot pursuit.
Out of play action, 3rd down and 1. Clemson on the verge of earning their first down of the day. They have one in their pocket by penalty already. And that's it. That's how good BC's been on defense. Blitz is on. Toal in the backfield. Flag down on the play. This may be another one by penalty, as Merriweather is brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Larry Anam. Alvin Washington was in on the play a little bit early that time and got across the line. I believe this will be the 3rd offside.
More
Offsides. Defense, number 16, in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Closed captioning for today's telecast provided by S&K, America's men's store.
The more I watch BC on and watching Florida State, you know, people said, well, the schedule, BYU, Army. Pull out the Florida State film, man.
Yeah.
And watch what they're capable of. They have a mean streak on their defense.
Frank Spaziani is their defensive coordinator.
Frank's probably responsible for it.
Yes, he is. It's his second stint at Boston College. And off now to Davis. And Clemson developing some confidence offensively as they move out to the 43. Nice big hole for true freshman James Davis out of Atlanta, Georgia. Ryan Glasper on the tackle.
I heard some pads on that. I like it when I can hear the pads from the press box. Good tag scheme up front. The big boys getting a little push. You know, if you're an offensive lineman for Clemson, you heard all this talk about BC. It tests your pride to see if you're going to step up and meet the challenge. That time they did.
Brandon Pilgrim with a key block out of the left tackle position. Handoff now comes to Davis again, running left. He's got some open yardage. And Davis walks the tightrope and finally goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
I'll tell you what. That was exactly what Clemson needed. Two things happened on that. B.J. Raji again had pretty decent penetration, but couldn't stand up to it. Clemson kept him body on a body. Could have had a little more help outside by Stuckey, but nevertheless, when you got a good back who keeps your shoulders square, watch the bounce. And right there, you kick in the overdrive, and good things happen for you. What a stiff arm.
First time today in Boston College territory. Gain of 27 on the play by James Davis. Ron Tribble made the saving tackle on the sidelines. 3-step drop for Whitehurst. The pass complete to his tight end.
Every time I see a stiff arm, I think of the old Swedes. I can't help but think about Walter Payton when I see a back, you know, administer a real good stiff arm.
Thomas Hunter on the catch. Sophomore out of...
Boy, the Tiger defense now, they're probably the biggest fans of this offense because they needed a break, and this offense is giving it to them.
2nd down and about 4. 6-yard gain on the play. Again, BC in the neutral zone. Flag flies for the 4th time today. Pass is complete to the tight end Hunter once again. He's picking up tackles. They may decline this as he gets down to the 13-yard line. It's a gain of 11. Jamie Silva makes the stop, but BC in the neutral zone for the 4th time we suspect.
Defense in the neutral zone, number 86. That penalty is declined. First down.
First down, Clemson. They're in the red zone for the first time this afternoon. Today's game brought to you by the Nissan Bottom Line Model Year-End Clearance. Now at your local Nissan dealer through September 30th.
You don't want the penalty. There's no way you want to accept that. But BC is still showing some aggressiveness. They're trying to make things happen.
Clemson has found a little chink in the armor defensively. Here comes Davis, and he surges ahead to the 10-yard line. Brought down there by Henderson. James Davis, who in his debut against Texas A&M ran for 101 yards and 19 carries. He comes off the field after a 27-yard gain and another 3-yard short gain on that one.
Think about the ACC now. It's going to be a dogfight. Doesn't matter how it starts. It's going to end up being an arm wrestling match.
Second down. Blitz is on, pass incomplete. Intended for Rendrick Taylor, the true freshman from Clio, South Carolina.
The Eagles are coming.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
They brought 3.
They brought them, and they're showing that they're not going to back down. That was a blown opportunity. Again, you can't be so critical about a freshman. But he had one guy to make miss, and he scores. Because when you blitz or when you send people, then you put a lot of pressure on your secondary.
Well, Clemson's got a little pressure on themselves right now. This is their 4th third down conversion. They've misfired on the 3 previous. They came in here at 30% on third down.
Well, Kiwanuka, this is usually his down.
He's over there on the right side of the Clemson formation. Left side of his own. And he is brought down. Whitehurst tries to get rid of it to Merriweather. They're going to call him down in the grasp of Washington.
Boy, Al Washington, I've talked a lot about B.J. Raji, those 2 tackles for BC. You hear so much, and rightfully so, about Kiwanuka. But great players make other players better. Good pressure by Kiwanuka, good block by Dukes. So there's quite a war going on right now. Marion Dukes.
Jad Dean getting ready to kick the field goal. Dean so far on the season, 9 of 10, as long as 44. 36 yards on this kick. A little hold of Cole Chasen. Here comes the kick. It is up and it is good. The Tigers on the board on their first sustained march of the day. It's 10-3 Boston College. Back after this word from your local ACC station. ACC football is brought to you in part by Alltel. Boston College leading Clemson 10-3. Jad Dean, who hit 6 field goals in the win over Texas A&M, nails a 36-yarder to get the Tigers on the board.
They're on the board, but I give BC an advantage on that drive.
Yes.
They took the momentum away from the Tigers. Took 4 points off the board.
Fielded by Solomon. Solomon, one of the top kick returners in the country, puts Boston College out to their own 27-yard line. A tackle by David Dunham on the play, as well as Dwayne Coleman. Coming up next week on many of these same stations, Citgo presents ACC football from Jefferson Pilot Sports. We return to College Park, Maryland, in another border war as the Virginia Cavaliers take on the Maryland Terrapins. See it on October 1st at high noon.
Here we go, loop-de-loop now, buddy. You're going to talk about real football.
1st and 10. Back to throw. Ryan Flair pass is incomplete in the backfield for Callender.
Nothing helps a defense more than points. All of a sudden they get a second win, and guys start doing things you hadn't seen them do prior to getting some points on the board.
Best drive of the day. Best possession of the day for Clemson. 10 plays, 61 yards, a Jad Dean field goal. James Davis, the featured back in that drive, with 35 yards.
Did a good job. Now BC has to come back and get to their style of football and get you right back on track.
1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Handoff goes to Callender, and he's got a big hole, but Jamal Fudge plugs it up at the 33-yard line. A gain of 6, however. You get 6 yards on first down, hey.
Hey, let me tell you what. As far as I'm concerned, there is no better play in football that demoralizes a team than when you can run off tackle. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to have a whole bunch of receivers on the field. But you put those guys up front, they start knocking people off the ball with a back that goes north-south, and you get good results.
3rd down coming now for BC and 2. Ryan has protection. Steps out of the pocket, throws a little flare to Callender. It is complete.
Uh-oh.
And Ryan is hurt.
That was rugged. I'll give him credit. He stepped into it, but that's the helmet right under the chin. Buddy, I don't care if you're Evander Holyfield. You cannot survive that one. And Steve, he knew it was going to happen. So I admire his courage. But right here, buddy, that's a tattoo.
Wow, that's David Dunham, 5th-year senior out of Lake City, Florida. And Ryan is seeing stars in his own backfield after completing the pass. Now, the pass is complete. Lost in all this is that it's another first down. The question is that man, number 15, Quentin Porter, saying, I can go in.
Well,
there's Quentin Porter.
His heart says he can go in.
His ankle may be telling other things.
His ankle is, I object.
And Tom O'Brien has given him the nod. And the 5th-year senior graduate student out of Portland, Maine, who was not going to play today because of an ankle injury that he suffered against Florida State, may be called to action here. Got a timeout on the field. It could be Porter. It could be someone else. We'll be back to Death Valley in Clemson right after this timeout. New quarterback Kareem El-Nokali. The junior from Pittsburgh is in after a holding penalty erased that last pass play. His pass to Will Blackman is incomplete. Let's take a look at why he's here. And Matt Ryan is out.
Again, it's about courage. Matt, he saw it and took it in the whiplash effect. Great hit. Helmet right under the chin, right on the one between the 1 and the 2. Buddy, that is textbook.
Paid for it. He delivered the ball, but there was a holding penalty on the play. That took the play back, and that's the first punt of the day coming up. Johnny Ayers, a sophomore from Oakton, Virginia, will kick for the first time today at the 5:40 mark.
Think about Kirkland and John and Dawkins, guys who played here, buddy. I don't know if they've ever had a hit like that.
No. Stuckey picks it up at the 37. Chancey Stuckey looking for daylight and finding none. Retreats to the sideline at the 36-yard line. A loss of about a yard. Jamie Silva on the tackle. There's Matt Ryan. Looks like he's got his wits about him, but they'll check before he puts that helmet on again. But he took a hit. He knew he was going to take a hit, Doc, as you said, and then great courage by that young man.
Oh, no question. I guarantee you that as soon as he makes his way back to Boston, if you just happen to see him walking down the street, someone will offer him. Well, you know, NCAA rule has so many different rules, but I sure like to buy that guy a shot if you saw him. Because, buddy, you take that.
Yeah.
You deserve.
You took one.
Yeah, you better believe
Somebody
I got one for you. Wow.
1st and 10, Clemson now at their own 36-yard line. This is their best starting position of the day. Charlie Whitehurst has Merriweather as his lone setback. Merriweather trying to turn the corner on Toal. And does. And Clemson in its last 2 possessions, starting with positive yardage on first down. It's a nice 5-yard gain. Henderson and Toal come up with the tackle.
I like Toal. I mean, you know, Brian Toal is everything we heard about him. You know, highly recruited young man who just flies after the football, plays with reckless abandonment. You know, one of my old teammates, Conan the Barbarian, who's doing the radio now for him. Pete Cronin is
Barbarian.
He is a barbarian, but this guy played the game the way the game's supposed to be played, with the helmet.
Big East Rookie of the Year last year. Whitehurst throwing the flare to the sideline. A little communication mix-up between he and Chancey Stuckey on the play.
Veteran move. When it's not there, give it to the guy playing the tuba. You know, do not try to get creative. When you're in a ball game, you know, you're trailing 10-3 at home, and you're going against a team that is the space eaters. BC will eat the clock alive. And so you've got to cherish any offensive possession you get, and you got to come away with either field position or points.
Stuckey split wide, 4 wideouts now for Clemson. Merriweather the lone setback. Now it's an open backfield. Whitehurst on the little curl screen to Stuckey. Flag thrown. And they say that Jasmine Williams touched Chancey Stuckey before the ball got there, thus interference.
Well, I think Jasmine's saying it was tipped. The debate will linger.
The guys in the striped shirts generally win these debates.
Holding, defense, number 4, 10-yard penalty, first down.
A holding call on Jasmine Williams, and that pushes the chains along. That'll be the 3rd first down gained by Clemson by penalty this afternoon.
Let's see if we can, with the second look. Again, good offensive line play. Yeah, I have to say he was a little contact there.
Clemson has not incurred a penalty today. BC now has 5.
One thing BC's done a good job of, and that is neutralizing this 12th man advantage here at Death Valley.
They kept the crowd quiet. Here comes Merriweather. They're up again. And positive yardage for Merriweather down to the Boston College 40-yard line. And they're starting to clear some holes, Doc. Ricky Brown and Ryan Glasper in on the tackle for Boston College.
Yeah. When the linebackers making plays and the back picks up 8-9 yards, and that's not how you drew it up. Great block again. McDuffie, he stepped in, 315-pound junior, and he's walking the dog. I mean, he's got people going backwards, and that's what you want as an offensive lineman.
Double tight end set for the Tigers now on second. Hand off Merriweather, close to the first down. Pushes the pile. Alvin Washington on the tackle, and it's another Clemson first down. So the Tigers having great success running left.
Yeah, they're running left, but boy, there's a price to pay for it. B.J. Raji this time give Merriweather a lot of credit because he captured the line of scrimmage, but that's why you want your back to have their eyes open. A lot of guys run with their eyes closed, so you run right in the back of your offensive lineman. Great vision by Merriweather.
1st and 10. Clemson at the BC 37. Bayham in motion. Handoff goes to Merriweather. Big hole again into the secondary and brought down at the 16-yard line. The tackle by Tribble on the trip. Nice yardage on the play of 21 yards.
Boy, that's a major league play by the Tigers. Kiwanuka coming inside. Okay, right here, that's the pile you want. See, there's a lane, and the back's right behind him. Very well done, and what I like to see is the offensive lineman blocking. Chris McDuffie once again still blocking downfield.
And also Barry Richardson at the point of attack out of left tackle. Flag on the play. Free play for Clemson. Merriweather brought down at the 15. Tackle made by Dunbar. But this flag again is out here. It could be the 6th penalty against the Eagles this afternoon.
Offsides, defense, number 35, 5-yard penalty, 3 plays first down.
Robert Francois, or Robert Francois, if you will, from Highlands, Texas.
Way too much generosity by the Eagles. Again, there's a fine line between being overly aggressive and giving up yardage to the opponent. It's your job defensively to watch the football.
Davis back in the backfield now on 1st and 5 after the penalty. Ball is at the Boston College 12-yard line. Hunter in motion. Whitehurst to throw that way. Passes to Stuckey, and Stuckey is tripped up. A saving tackle by Jasmine Williams at the 9-yard line prevented Stuckey from going into the end zone.
You know, you hear so much about cover corners. You know, what corners have to do is be able to come up and hit. And that was a great example. Could have saved a touchdown.
Boston College defensively in the red zone, 9 possessions, and they've been successful in shutting them out 3 times. They allowed 4 touchdowns and 2 field goals. That's a look at our call to recycle red zone. 2nd down and 1. Handoff now goes to Davis, and he pushes the pile for a first down inside the Boston College 5. And now it is Clemson starting to rack up time of possession, Doc, here in the 2nd.
Yeah, offensive line coach Brad Scott, he's got to be tickled to death at this because you're going against BC, and BC's defensive line beastly. I mean, these guys play low, and right now, buddy, they're on rollerblades. And there's a big orange wave that's moving towards the end zone. That was quite impressive by the Clemson offensive line.
Offensive line coach Brad Scott, former head coach of the University of South Carolina. On the sidelines, Davis with 5 carries, 42 yards. He's in the backfield again. Whitehurst under center, Davis with the carry. He picks his way down close to the end zone. Is he in? No, he's down to the 1. This crowd of 80,000 wanted to cut loose. Jackson and Harrell, both fullbacks, in there blocking on the play.
Well, other than those 5-yard penalties that Boston College has given away like candy and during Halloween, they are tough to run on. And I'll tell you what, folks, in order to get a real appreciation for this, you have to watch film of Boston College playing defense. This is quite impressive for the Big Orange.
Both ends in tight, double wing formation. Whitehurst to carry it in, touchdown Clemson.
Buddy, we got a brawl here.
Yes, sir.
This is going to get nasty before it's over.
Clemson Tigers developing momentum and also confidence. Jad Dean steps in. Let's see Whitehurst go over again.
Well, again, it's not without resistance. That offensive line had a heck of a series.
Especially that left side.
Yeah, they really did.
Pilgrim and Richardson and Fry. They kicked it out over there. And we've got a penalty that'll stop this kick. And it went off. This may be Clemson's first penalty of the day.
Prior to the snap, defensive contact in the neutral zone. Half the distance, replay.
My goodness.
This is ridiculous now.
That is the 7th penalty, and it is going to be the 5th of that nature. Offsides. They've had 1 holding call. That's on defense. Jad Dean. Kick is up, and it is good. The Clemson Tigers have come from 10 points down to tie it up on Charlie Whitehurst's 1-yard plunge. We'll be back after these messages from Boston College and Clemson University. Clemson has tied it up 10-all with Boston College with 98 seconds left to go in this first half of play. Steve Martin, Rick Doc Walker, and Scott Przwanski at Death Valley as Citgo presents our ACC Game of the Week. Jad Dean getting ready to kick it off. The Tigers starting to pick up yardage on the ground. Rob Spence, their offensive coordinator, said if you come into a game against BC's defense looking for that 200-yard rushing day, you will be sadly let loose at the end of the day. He said, look, get your goals a little more modest. And Clemson right now has 68 yards rushing in this first half.
Boy, this is interesting. I would love to be really in both locker rooms at halftime just to understand the strategy. What reality means is that BC came out throwing that overhand right, and they were landing. But they didn't cash in early, and now they're paying for it. And Clemson has found some life. But we got a lot of ball game remaining.
Will Blackman is back there. Jad Dean with the kick headed in his direction. Blackman 8-9 yards deep. He won't bring it up. So Blackman downs it in the end zone. Matt Ryan comes back out on the field with more on him. Let's send it down to Scott Przwanski.
That's the good news. Matt Ryan is coming back, and I'll tell you, the training staff really put him through a series of exercises while he sat out. He had to answer a series of questions. He did sprints, had to wait a while, come back, answer another series of questions. And through that whole time period, guys, you better believe teammate after teammate after teammate came up to him and asked him if he was okay. He checked out fine, and here you see him right in huddle.
Well, Steve, win, lose, or draw, he gets my caveman award.
Yeah.
Because he was a stud to come back to this.
And that hit also sent him back to prehistoric times. Ryan on 1st and 10 to throw. Passes look like it's in there. It's incomplete. Intended for Lester. Larry Lester, the graduate student, 5th-year senior from Piscataway, New Jersey. Jamal Fudge covering on the play. Now, in case you didn't see him, while we're gushing about Matt Ryan and the hit here, he absorbed this hit. Oh, took the helmet off. David Dunham applied it. Right there, tattooed it on him.
What hit. We'll be watching that hit, I have a feeling, for quite a long time now.
Second down, 10 yards to go. BC with their worst field position of the day, their own 20. Draw play goes to Whitworth. And Whitworth looking for some yardage, got about 5, and then it ended right there.
Flag down, we're coming back.
Yep, Adams on the play. Clemson has not been penalized today. BC about to absorb their 8th penalty, I believe.
Holding, offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
Coach O'Brien understands that when you're on the road, you cannot give the opponent any advantage. Make him earn everything. You give up that kind of real estate, and eventually, you know, it may come back to haunt you. And I guarantee that'll be part of his halftime message.
It's going to be second down and 20 to go. And if they don't get anything on this down, you will hear the orange voices in unison on third.
This is where it helps to have a Charlie Whitehurst on your sideline.
There's Anthony Waters.
Again, BC won't panic. They're a poised team. And you have to give young man Ryan a lot of credit, man. He's impressive.
Saleh is split out wide to the top side. Blackman to the bottom. Ryan to throw. The screen complete to Whitworth. Still in minus territory, and he'll stay there. Rashid Jackson and Anthony Waters in on the play for the Clemson Tigers. Waters, who came in here leading the ACC in tackles for loss. We've got a timeout on the field with 48 seconds left to play. Clemson and Boston College all lighted up at 10 each. Boston College and Clemson knotted up at 10 each. Third down and 18 coming for the Eagles here. And the Orange faithful are ready to make some noise. Clemson took timeout because it wants the ball with time left and a chance to score. And the possibility of good field position. Ryan to throw. Pass tipped. Gaines Adams got in the way of that one. Jackson putting on some pressure. I tell you, the young defensive linemen that Vic Coning's using have come through.
Well, Vic Coning, what he's done is he's kept his troops fresh. That's a great ball reaction. You know, Adams, you can coach kids all you want, but they have to have an instinct. This is a big play instinct. He got off the ground, didn't lay on his belly, jumped up, made a play. And the Tigers are roaring.
I tell you, Rashid Jackson, redshirt freshman out of Union, South Carolina, really put the pressure on. Chancey Stuckey back to get the punt of Johnny Ayers. This one will fall short.
Still big punt.
Yep.
Big time punt.
It gets Clemson back to their 43-yard line, and they needed that, and so did Johnny, because these two teams are the worst punting teams in the ACC.
They were struggling.
Yeah.
They were struggling, but a kid shows you something. If he can get in under, couldn't have been no more pressure. And he puts a boomer on that one and gives his team now a chance to defend his ground.
A 45-yard punt by Johnny Ayers now, and Clemson will have the ball. They have one timeout left and 31 seconds and 57 yards of real estate to cover. Charlie Whitehurst, 9 of 15, 47 yards. Nothing big and fancy. Just try to move the chains. In the last two series, they've done that. Now they need something big. Merriweather carries the ball and looking for the sideline as he gets out to about the 47-yard line. Big gain of 4. It stops the clock with 25 seconds, so they only use 6 on the play.
Yeah, Kiwanuka, right side, still putting in pressure, so they kind of tailor this offense to maximize, you know, his upfield pressure. There's a gate hole right there, and just good call, good execution by Clemson.
Second down and 6. There's Kiwanuka. Watching him all afternoon. What a great ball player. Whitehurst with time, throw downfield, complete. No. Stuckey could not hang on. The former Clemson quarterback covered on the play by Ryan Glasper.
Boy, that would have been a big one for the Tigers.
That's their longest pass attempt of the day.
Yeah. Well, you have to give BC a lot of credit for that. Defensively, they have kept everything underneath.
Third down and 6 coming. Clock stopped with 19 seconds left to play. Again, Clemson with one timeout.
Then that stamina issue that Coach Bowden talked to you about on Friday, that's going to become an issue because BC, the top dogs have remained on the field.
All this second quarter done. Hand off Merriweather on the draw. They're trying to get the first down, but they are shy of it by a yard. And with 13 seconds left to go, it's close enough to take a timeout. Boston College will take a timeout now.
They caught him in the stunt.
And now this is a key decision here for Tommy Bowden. Do you take a chance? You have 13 seconds left to go. You are 4th and 1. Do you take a chance or give up the ball at midfield with maybe one play left on the clock? What do you do?
We haven't had any success downfield. You also haven't really forced the issue. But if you have a Whitehurst at quarterback, utilize it.
Well, Whitehurst has the helmet off, so I think the punting unit is coming out on right now.
And that's exactly why he's down there coaching. I'm sitting up there with this fan on my back.
Let's look at the Atlantic Division standings. Of course, Florida State having beaten Boston College up their conference record to 2-0. Look at Clemson and Boston College now. Clemson 1-1. Boston College looking for their first conference win. So this game is an important game in the makeup of the Atlantic Division standings. The Atlantic standings, of course, the Atlantic champion meets the Coastal champion in the ACC championship game the first weekend of December in Jacksonville. And that's Boston College. Of course, their entry into this conference makes that all possible.
One of the reasons, Steve, that Coach Bowden decided to punt.
That's right.
Huge implications on this ball game.
I want to give it away here. Will Blackman back to get the punt of Cole Chasen. He's averaged 44 yards a kick, and he will pooch them inside the 20. And Blackman will return it to the 15-yard line. So the punt rolls dead, and Blackman is tackled at the 16. It's about a 40-yard punt. And that's where BC, armed with one timeout, will start with 3 seconds left. Matt Ryan, 85 yards away from the end zone. I wouldn't be surprised if BC just takes a knee and heads to the locker room.
Well, they are closer to the locker room here. And you do want to get yourself, you know, which will prove to be a dogfight in the second half.
Oh, it will.
Yeah, I mean, they've done well. I mean, they dominated early on, kind of lost a little bit of the sting late, but again, there's so much football remaining.
He takes the knee, as we thought, and BC headed to the locker room, tied with the Clemson Tigers here. It's been an exciting one. Both quarterbacks have scored 1-yard touchdown runs. We've had field goals from both kickers, Chad Dean and Ryan Oliger, and it's a 10-10 game. Boston College dominated the first quarter. Clemson dominated the second. And let's head to the sidelines and Scott Przwanski.
Coach Bowden, what was your club able to do here in the second quarter to score 10 straight points to tie it up?
Well, for 3 straight possessions, we missed assignments on third down. And once we stop missed assignments, I think we can move the football. I think we kind of proved that in the second quarter.
What will be your main message now headed into the locker room?
No missed assignments on third down.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it, Coach Tommy Bowden, and the message will be simple as the Tigers and Eagles head to the locker room. Our halftime festivities are coming up from Death Valley right after this.
Welcome back to Death Valley Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, where Citgo presents our ACC Game of the Week. Just about ready for the second half to get underway as Boston College comes calling, and they are involved in a 10-10 tie with the Clemson Tigers. As a matter of fact, the last time Boston College was on this field, it was back in 1982. Clemson was defending the national championship. And it was a Clemson team coached by Jack McNell. Their quarterback was Doug Flutie, and they came in here and tied the Clemson Tigers on a sunny afternoon at 17 all. Let's take a look at the first half possession. Boston College roared out. Now, call attention to the second. That interception, that proved to be a key because that interception happened with BC on the Clemson 2-yard line. Yep. That could have been an all-important third score.
Well, you know, you look at it, they score a touchdown. Obviously, you know, it has a bigger influence on it, but a field goal, momentum. They had discouraged Clemson, and that's the key. They let them off the hook, and now the Tigers wagging his tail.
And the number of plays in each possession diminishes for BC as the first half went along. Let's look at Clemson now. Their first half, they did the minimum plus 1 play in the first 3 possessions, then a 10-play march that resulted in a field goal, a 9-play march that resulted in a touchdown, and of course the punt that finished out the first half for Tommy Bowden's Clemson Tigers. Let's go back down to the sidelines to Scott Przwanski and more.
Steve, I caught up with Tommy O'Brien as he was coming off the field, and I asked him, I said, Coach, what do you need to do here in the second half? And he said he was walking, stopped, looked at me, smiled, and simply said, cut out the stupid mistakes, and we'll be fine. It was plain and simple, cut out the stupid mistakes, and we'll be fine. So we'll see if Boston College can cut away those miscues and start to capitalize a little bit more.
Well, there were 8 of them in the first half for 52 yards, and 6 of them were offside penalties against the defense. Just a little too anxious to get across the gun. Now, part of that could be the fact that Clemson drew them offside with their alternating snap count, which is something that Rob Spence felt that his team would do. Clemson, to their credit, they haven't made any mistakes today. They haven't turned the ball over, and they haven't committed any penalties.
Well, it sounds so elementary, and we say it on every level of football, high school, college, and pros, but defensively, just watch the ball. Take all the mystery out of it.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter.
Less on sound, more on sight.
Yeah, watch the ball.
Will Blackman back to receive Jad Dean's kick, and we'll be underway here. Dean paces out the yardage. 80,000 strong here at Clemson, and they've seen an entertaining first half. Here comes Dean. Foot to leather, and we're underway. There's Blackman at the 3. And Blackman is shot down.
Oh, the lead. Woo!
That is Steven Jackson coming up with the tackle on special teams.
Vicious.
Yes, sir.
There's no better way to take the heart out of a team than to knock it out of them. And Clemson has come up now with 2 major league hits. It's a little high on the headgear, but the intentions are there.
Will Blackman's pretty good on kickoff returns. He's second in the country active at 2,800 yards. Matt Ryan, good efficiency, has scored once, thrown 1 interception. Has completed 66% of his passes, and we got a whistle. And it is an illegal procedure penalty against, it appears, against Boston College.
Before the snap, false start, offense, number 88,
The
5 yards, first down.
The mistakes continue for Boston College. That time the tight end.
That's rare.
It is rare. Rick Walker recalling his days as a tight end for the world champion Washington Redskins.
IQ guys that play that position, they don't usually make those kind of mistakes. But Coach O'Brien, a bit of frustration but that's part of being on the road, part of being here at Death Valley.
1st and 15. Trey Tate gains Adams in the ball game. Here comes Whitworth, and Whitworth is a tough man to handle. He gets 5 yards back out to the 20. The tackle made by Tremaine Billy, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
And that's really Boston College, their trademark. And they come off the ball, pick up 5-6 yards, and it doesn't have to really look real fancy, but it's effective. And if you take away the penalty, they'd be looking at a 3rd down and maybe 3.
Blackman and Gonzalez are split wide out to the left. Deep handoff, Whitworth. Whitworth wrestled down, not much gain there. And Waters is in on the tackle, along with Charles Bennett.
Clemson has played a lot of puppies on defense, and they've shown being fresh. There's a 2-for-1 there by Patrick Ross, the center for Boston College.
Yeah,
but I tried to say this early on. Clemson can't do it on girth. They have to do it on heart. They got to get off blocks, get second chance opportunities, and fly to the football.
DC 4 of 7 on 3rd down, and look at it, 3rd and 7. Ryan steps up, no. Intended for Gonzalez. Ty Hill covering on the play, and that'll bring the punter on. 3 downs and out.
Route was there. The route was there. Pass protection was fine. And we watched Matt Ryan. He was high with the ball early on in the end zone that resulted in an interception. You got to bring that ball down on the numbers, and if he does, then the Eagles will move the chains.
Johnny Ayers, who's punted the last 3 times, will be back again. This is 2 punts so far on the day, averaging 43. Chancey Stuckey back to receive for Clemson. And that penalty set BC off schedule on 1st and 15. Ayers taking forever to get rid of it and gets off a good one. Flag down on the play, back at the kicker. Chancey Stuckey looks for blockers, but it may be coming back at the 30-yard line.
Oh, brother.
It's a roughing the kicker call against Clemson, their first of the day. And an inopportune time for that to happen because it'll bring BC's offense back out onto the field.
Has to break the Eagles needed.
It offset their mistake at the first of the possession.
Yeah, because it's not like Clemson covered the route. The route was open.
Yeah.
The protection was there. And they've got to make that play.
Fans reacting to the replay shown on the scoreboard here.
Personal foul. Running into the kicker. Defense. First down.
Let's take a look as Tommy Bowden doesn't believe it.
Boy, the natural equalizer. Special teams. You see the kick, the follow through.
Well,
oh boy, that is Hollywood bound.
Yes, sir. Johnny Ayers, if he doesn't have a football career.
I tell you what, buddy, this is. Oh yeah, Oscar nominee here, buddy. And that's what they're paid to do. I mean, paid by means of scholarship, Mr. NCAA. But that's what it's all about.
Coleman was close to the play, but not that close.
Hey, it's the beauty of being in college, man. To further your education and to develop a career.
Well, he certainly
is a good one.
Ayers says he buys that call. 1st and 10 at the 38. BC with more life. It is Blackman on the wing.
Playmaker.
He is a playmaker. Out to the 46-yard line. It is a completion of 7 yards, and the crowd continues to give the officials a lot of grief on that play.
BC is a rhythm offense. By that, they've got to do the things that they do them on timing, and get plays out of it. And when you can put the ball in Will Blackman's hands, your ratio of success increases distinctively.
2nd down and 3. 7 on the play. Hand off to Callender. Wall set up, and he's got the first down in Clemson territory at the 48-yard line. Tackle made by Philip Merling, true freshman out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Tell you what, though, big hustle on the part. Patrick Ross to find center, 66, pulls out, gets a little edge box, a little nudge. But defensively, the Tigers don't quit. And it's that kind of effort that they're going to need to be able to deal with this powerful offense from Boston College.
1st and 10, BC set up at the Clemson 48. Gonzalez and Saleh are set up at the wide outs. Clark, the fullback, will be wide out to the opposite side. Play action for Matt Ryan. Down the middle of the field to the tight end. He dropped the football. That is Ryan Thompson, the sophomore from Akron, Ohio. Sergio Gilliam on the play.
Well, the idea on this is play action, not much of a fake. Again, he's waiting. Ryan trying to get the ball down the pipe. That's catchable. Another rarity, 2 in 1 day. You see a tight end with a penalty in the ball, and you will usually see Ryan Thompson make that grab.
Good hit by Sergio Gilliam.
The more important fact on this, Stephen, is that they're open. Now they got to make those plays because they are there.
2nd down and 10. Hand off Callender. And Andre Callender gets inside the 45-yard line down to the 44. Trey Tate on the tackle, but it brings up 3rd down here. A big 3rd down conversion waiting Boston College. They missed their last one.
Big Goster boy, this kid, I love his tenacity. Terrace, you watch him, 77 in white, right side. Now there's a fullback lead, pretty stop. Now watch 77, grinding, pushing, leg move, flat. And that's what offensive linemen live for. Martine the other side. And we've watched it on both sides of the ball now, getting after it.
Back to throw, Ryan. We have a flag down on the play.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 70. 5 yards, 3rd down.
Another offensive penalty against Tom O'Brien's team. His frustration starting to show a little bit. Although this is a guy who represents, he's what even keel is all about.
And his team reflects that.
Yes.
It's one of those things that they're in the battle, man. This is good football. And it's as even as it could be. And it will be won by a test of wheels and the guts. And what team can just grind this thing out.
3rd and 11. BC 4 of 8 on 3rd down. Ryan to throw. Helmets are off, and he's going down. Charles Bennett's helmet went flying. It's a gain totally of a yard, and it brings the punting unit on.
I tell you what, when Matt gets a chance to go watch a film on this one, this is when he'll have to take a bite out of the apple. because he's not going to be happy because he had people downfield. And you got to make a decision. You either get out of there. Looks like Jackson coming in around the corner. See, I love it. Guys crawling, going after the ball without a helmet on. Charles Bennett. I mean, that's how you win on any level. Relentless.
Johnny Ayers back to punt. Last time, got a roughing the kicker call. Punt fielded by Chancey Stuckey at the 13-yard line. Timeout on the field, and it's Boston College and Clemson all tied up here. The BC defense takes the field when we come back. Your favorite and win. I got an idea which one you vote for.
I think we know that one.
Yes, sir. Handoff on 1st and 10. Reggie Merriweather, and he's got yardage again off the left side. Another first down for Clemson at their own 26-yard line. Jasmine Williams comes up to make the stop.
Boy, what a contrast in this year's offense for the Clemson Tigers, showing some real patience. There's some head knocking up front. See, pad on pad. And when the orange shirts start to engulf the guys in the white shirt, you're going to move the chains.
Merriweather at 37 yards in the last scoring drive. 1st and 10, pass play complete to Stuckey, and Chancey Stuckey falls in the grasp of Ricky Brown. And that's at the 29-yard line, make it a gain of 3. You know, Clemson has collectively offensively taken a little bit of grief from their fans because Charlie's not going downfield, but Rob Spence explains it. You make your quarterback more efficient. He completes high percentage pass. You can still move the chains.
Well, it's about how big do you want to be as a program? How many games do you want to win? Are you here to entertain or to win games?
There you go.
You don't have to answer to any fan group. You got to get them to bowl games and get into BCS.
2nd and 7. Merriweather dances ahead. He's going to be close to the first down. Driven back Kiwanuka on the play. But Merriweather really starting to pick up the yardage as the Clemson Tigers getting the ball moving against a tough defense.
You know, it's about being stout up front, being able to move the football and not give the game away. And right now, Clemson is showing you that. At BC, they were the masters of it. Being able to control the clock, cram the ball right down your throat, and score. And so Clemson is really taking the page out of Boston College offensive repertoire, and these guys are really playing stout between the tackles.
Clemson 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions, but they haven't had one this short so far today. They're 3rd and 1. Tied at 10 all. Handoff, and he's shot down in the backfield. Coming in to make the play is Jamie Silva. Silva with a huge play along with Nick Larkin. And they are denied once more.
Boy, did they need it. It's who can capture the line of scrimmage when it counts. Again, BC's defensive line dominated. You talk about capturing the line of scrimmage, buddy, this was a jailbreak. Now, there's a push here in the middle. You see that in the middle. There was a good surge up front, but at the point of attack, the Eagles were there, and they're in numbers.
Cole chased it on to punt the football away. Will Blackman back to catch it. Fair catch called for by Tribble at the 31-yard line.
Another flag, buddy. Got another flag.
Got a flag on the play. So we'll hold it here. Punt yardage is 33. Let's see what the flag is. Tom O'Brien was concerned, and it's against BC.
During the return, block in the back, number 9, receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Larry Anam commits the penalty. Boston College will be back up to about their 20-yard line. Tie ball game. We'll be back right after this. ACC football is brought to you in part by Toyota. Steve Martin, Doc Walker, Scott Brzezwanski, and Death Valley as Citgo presents ACC football. Boston College 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. Tied up with Clemson at 10 all. Play action for Ryan. He's on the corner with a great play fake and runs out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play, run out of bounds by Lionel Richardson. Our producer for today's telecast, Dave Berenger. Our director is Tom Smith, and we take a shout out to the former producer of ACC football, Scott Snyder. He's weathering his 2nd hurricane in the greater New Orleans area. I'm glad to have the Rooster watching in this afternoon.
Yeah, we're happy, boy. That was what a tragedy down there. And a lot of friends and family all over the country that dealing with this. So our prayers are with you.
2nd down and 7. Number of the center to push the pile for not much yardage. James Adams on the tackle. Looks like L.V. Whitworth on the carry, going straight ahead.
Tell you what, buddy, there's some muscle being flexed down to that field now.
I'll tell you what, though,
I think Scotty P's got the best seat in the house. Yeah. and that is if he hasn't made his way to the dressing room now.
Yeah,
kicking back, probably watching this in the air-conditioned area of the Clemson Stadium.
Blackman is split wide out to the top side. Larry Lester to the bottom. 3rd down, 4 for 9 for BC. Here is Ryan, pass complete for another 1st down. And the pass is completed to the flats to Kevin Challenger. He's a sophomore. That's his first catch of the day.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on that. You heard the roar of the crowd. Again, Ryan, it has not been under a lot of pressure, but it's, again, you got to get a good throw, good catch. More importantly, to hold on and get to the sticks.
They push the sticks that time out to the 30-yard line. Handoff goes to Whitworth. He turns left. And right into the grasp of Waters. Also Vincent on the tackle. And Jamal Fudge comes up for extra credit. Anthony Waters leading the way. Waters, a junior from Lakeview, South Carolina, and one of the leading tacklers in the ACC at 35.
Boy, they've had some outstanding young men to play that position in the middle.
Yes, they have. And Waters could be another one in the long line. NC State moving ahead of North Carolina in the 3rd. Great game at Raleigh this afternoon. We're tied here in the 3rd at Clemson. Play action for Matt Ryan. And he is brought down from behind. Vincent on the tackle and a flag down on the play. And it's against Clemson. The play was over. And the Tigers starting to commit miscues. They've had 2 major penalties now, one roughing the kicker.
After the play, personal foul, leading with the helmet, 92, 15 yards, 1st down.
That's Trey Tate.
Thin line between playing football and protection. See, Ryan here looks a little indecisive. There's a hit. He's down. See, to me, that's just football. I mean, you're coming in to finish the play off. And the momentum, I mean, he'd already made up his mind. It wasn't helmet-to-helmet contact. But you have to live with it.
Courtney Vincent had already made the stop. Tommy Bowden trying to get somebody to listen to him on the call. He's the ACC does have replay, but that's not a play you can review. 1st and 10. Ryan to throw to the flats, and this one is aimed at the coaching staff. He had Blackman out there, but his vision was somewhat shaded.
You can say what you want, but Matt Ryan took a huge hit. And right now, I don't see the crispness in this kid.
No.
You know, and he's out there because he's got a lot of heart, and he's shown that he's not afraid of this at all. But I'd be very observant of him right now, and of course he's going to the right spot with the ball, but just doesn't seem to have the quickness he had in the first quarter.
2nd and 10. Ball at the BC 48. Hand off to Callender. He's got some room. So he's brought down shy of the 1st down in Clemson territory at the 46-yard line. Ty Hill and Jamal Fudge bring him down.
I'll tell you what, Josh Beekman, you want to talk about a big guy, 325 pounds, number 75, watch him there. Boy, he delivers a blow. We've got some big guys on both sides of the line of scrimmage here, Clemson and Boston College, that are not afraid to deliver a blow. And Big Josh is an animal.
3rd down and 3. Ryan back to throw, pass complete. Got the tight end Miller, Chris Miller. He's caught 2 touchdown passes today, moves the chains. C.J. Gaddis on the tackle, but it's a nice gain on the play of about 10.
Well, you just can't block it any better. This offensive line is everything I heard and everything I watched on film. And he's had opportunities this way. Matt Ryan has to make plays, and BC has been his own worst enemy.
14-yard gain. 1st and 10 at the Clemson 31-yard line. Ryan handoff in the back, trips in the backfield. Callender down before he even started. Rasheed Jackson made sure he didn't go anywhere. Gonzalez. The split wide to the top side. Play action, rolling out right as Ryan rushes on and the tight end drops. Thompson with a drop. It wouldn't have been for much yardage.
Waters with the pressure.
Waters with huge pressure. You're right, Don.
Rare moment for the Tigers to put pressure on Matt Ryan. But there you see 40 on the run through. And it's just enough that it didn't allow him to turn his shoulders and make an accurate throw.
Courtney Vincent played well to contain the play on the end. BC over 50% on third down, 6 of 11. They came in here at 46%. But they're looking at 3rd and 13 at the Clemson 34. Ryan back to throw, pass knocked. Gonzalez had it, and it was for first down yardage, but he dropped it at the 21.
Again, it wasn't due to the defense, I can tell you that. BC has had too many people open not to capitalize on it. I mean, you got to make that throw and catch. Ball is thrown behind him. He makes a good effort for it, but doesn't quite get it.
And that brings up 4th down, and that brings in Johnny Ayers. They are too far out to attempt a field goal from Ryan Ollinger. So Ayers, who's punted 3 times, will be on to give the defense some field position. C.J. Gaddis is inside the 10 to field this one. And Ollinger, line drive. It'll go into the end zone. Comes out to the 20. Timeout on the field. This game is tied with 3:53 left in the third at 10-all. Back after this word from your local station. During the first half, we asked this Alltel Text to Win ACC Trivia Challenge. We asked, where did Frank Howard's rock come from? It is California. That's right. It's from Death Valley. An alum sent it to him, and for the longest time, it adorned Frank Howard's door as a doorstop. He said, get rid of it. They put it on the end of the end zone, and it's part of tradition. Pass complete. Curtis Bayham. 1st and 10. And Charlie Whitehurst goes to the air. Bayham, a 5th-year senior out of New Orleans, driven out of bounds by Dewan Tribble. A 37-yard pass play hookup.
Well, we've been talking so much about Clemson not going after the big one. Well, this time, how could they not? I mean, a little circle right on the outside. They found a sweet spot, wide open. Good throw and catch. Protection is right where it needs to be. And you can utilize Charlie Whitehurst in his
The penalty was for an illegal block in the back. Was determined by that the block was from the side. There's no penalty. First down.
There's a break for the Clemson Tigers. Would have called back a nice play. Instead, the 37-yard gain stands. Clemson now set up at the BC 43-yard line. Tommy Bowden lobbied hard before this drive started. He was in the lineman's ear and was chewing it off.
They can get a little payback on that one.
1st and 10. BC showing blitz. Here they come. Handoff goes to Davis, and there's not much there. Washington and Pruitt and Dunbar have a meeting with James Davis. And there's Frank Howard's name along the ring of honor here in his customary hat. Longtime coach at Clemson University. For 40 years he patrolled the sidelines. And there's the implication. Welcome to Death Valley. And they have made it just that over these years. And referring again to that Boston Globe article, this is a school of 13,000 undergraduates, and somehow they find 80,000 to get here on weekends.
It's the love of the game, brother.
Loss on the play of 4, 2nd down, 14. Pass to the sideline, complete to Kelly. A little bit of yardage there, back about 5 yards. It gets it back to the 43-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. Again, Ricky Brown covering on the play, the senior from Cincinnati.
Trying not to make a bad play. Really good work up front. You know, it's not a whole lot, but you just keep kind of inching your way up there and keep possession. That's the key. Keep Boston College's offense off, because frustration is soon to loom. I mean, BC's had opportunities, and they've just failed to cash in.
What Clemson is succeeding in doing here since the 2nd quarter is keeping BC's defense on the field in this hot weather. Whitehurst with a tough snap. And he'll go down. There's a penalty on the play. The tackle made by number 51, Jake Ottolini.
Ottolini's there, but if someone grabbed the cage, then the beat continues against BC. Kiwanuka, nice little spin move. See, he's able to absorb two guys. My theory is if he takes away two, then somebody else has got to get there. Otherwise, you give him your meal next week when you go through the chow line. Because this guy absorbs two, someone's got to get there.
Fourth down.
So it's a holding call that was declined. It brings up fourth down and brings the punting unit on.
And you can't always judge a superstar or a great player by his stats. It's what he allows his other teammates to do. And I think, you know, Kiwanuka has shown us today he's played hard. He's chewing up two Tigers at one time. It's time for his teammates to answer the bell.
Clemson getting ready to punt. You look at Clemson's big running plays today, looking back on tape, and you will see Kiwanuka on the other side of the field.
Oh, yeah. No, he's a sideline player.
Blackman will down it at the 9-yard line. As we go around the league, score tied at 10-all as Boston College gets it back, and now NC State asserting themselves in Raleigh in the third quarter. 24-14 over the Tar Heels. Miami up 13-0 on Colorado at home. They're in the third in that game. A good time last week in that West Virginia game. 1st and 10. BC's worst field position of the day. Their own 9. Handoff, nothing fancy. Callender. High Hill waiting for him. The ball popped loose, but it'll be blown dead at the 12-yard line. That came out there, looked dangerously.
Yeah, that could have been tough. Tell you what, though, Pat Lynch could do it. Oh, Lynch had a pretty good block on that side. Both fullback, Palmer, Lynch, do a great job of blocking for the Eagles.
Our Heels just scored again in Raleigh. And that backyard brawl is a lot of fun up there. We're having fun here. Score tied. BC, 2nd down. About 6. Hand off. Callender right side. And he's got a 1st down. He's out over the 20 and up to about the 23-yard line. Ty Hill making the tackle now for the Clemson Tigers. Hill's a pretty good one. You know, in this game,
and we watched him more work on this offensive line. The tight end, this time Ryan Thompson, great down block. You know, tight ends have to take on defensive ends, get them down, allow those guard tackle the pull. And that's a big part of this Boston College offense. Miller, Purvis, Thompson, all guys are capable of getting it done.
Ty Hill, one of 3 preseason All-ACC players in this game. 2 of them for Clemson. Here is Ryan, and he runs smack dab into a Clemson linebacker. Making the play, Jock McKissick, freshman out of Opelika, Alabama, and Antonio Clay, 2 true freshmen.
Now that was good coverage. This time, the Tigers mixed things up. They got some pretty decent pressure, but in the secondary, they brought out the quilt on this one because there was maximum coverage. And all Ryan could do was tuck it down, but he's got to protect himself. Boy, at the end, this kid is taking some hits.
That head has been jerked back a couple of times. 2nd down and 11. Callender cuts inside, gets a little bit of running room. He'll be shy of the 1st down as he pushes it out to the 29-yard line.
Boy, he made a decision to go inside. He had Big Martin running on the outside. If he had hugged that outside number, buddy, he'd still be running.
Philip Merlin, another true freshman, in on the tackle. Vic Koenig is going to be shouting out the praises of some very young defensive linemen and linebackers this week when he looks at the film.
Well, Coach, you know, what he's done is he played people, he had to trust them.
Yep.
And I don't think they failed him. I think they've given him maximum effort.
You are correct. Corey Gruber in there now at tackle. 3rd down and 4. Ryan with time, throws, gets complete for the 1st down. Soleil is in on the play. A tackle made by C.J. Gaddis. But it moves the chains to the 39-yard line, and it'll be a gain of about 10 yards. Let's go to the sidelines and Scott Przwanski.
Guys, we talked a lot about the offensive line. Let me give you some perspective on just how big that 1,600 pounds or so is. It's like lining up against 5 refrigerators. I did some research, too, or maybe 1 large pilot whale. And if you take it a step further in terms of weight, how about 7 or 8 Doc Walkers?
That must mean 3 Mike Hogwoods then.
We are at the end of the 3rd quarter, through 3, all tied up at 10-all at Clemson. Citgo presents ACC football from Jefferson Pilot Sports. Starting the fourth here at Death Valley at Clemson, and Boston College and Clemson fought through a stalemate in the third. They're still tied up at 10-all. Steve Martin, Rick Doc Walker, and Scott Krzyzewski. The action here from Death Valley.
Krzyzewski wants to be a comedian now, huh?
He's got Mike Hogwood's right on it.
Yeah, well.
Back to throw, Matt Ryan on 1st and 10. The pass almost picked off by Anthony Waters. Waters wasn't tall enough, and Miller wasn't small enough on that.
We're not talking about DB, we're talking about a middle linebacker. Talk about the depth on this one. And just not enough on it. Boy, the Tigers there, you talk about turning your fortunes in your favor. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, though, buddy. Won't buy you points.
They almost had it. They did have an interception in the first half. Jamal Fudge. 2nd down and 10. And off to Callender. Big block out front. Gets him near midfield. Trey Tate comes up on the tackle, but not before he's picked up 9 yards. The hitting has been furious between these two teams. The fans have been into it too, despite the heat. Curtis Bayham on a big gain, and of course, young Clemson defensive linemen have been the story of the day. And that man, Matt Ryan, has held his composure. He may not be executing at 100%, but the fact that he's out there executing after the hits he's taken.
No question. Coach Bible deserves a lot of credit for he's running his offense really with his backup quarterback, and so did the Eagles, to be in the hunt.
3rd and 1. And off goes to Toal, and he is stuffed. That was Lionel Richardson and Anthony Waters at the bottom of that pile, and they got lower than Toal on that one.
Buddy, you test your manhood on short yardage situations. And this is capturing the line of scrimmage. Big time play by Anthony Waters. Not only does he show you his versatility as a defender, a pass defender, but there he shows you he can flex his muscles as well. Big play for the Tigers.
Boston College starting to eat up time of possession, but in each of their 3 possessions now, Doc, in the second half, they have had to punt the football. And they have not had the field position they've had in the first half. Chancey Stuckey back to get Johnny Ayers' punt. And this one's a nice slicing line drive that Stuckey will call for a fair catch at the 6-yard line. So, ball changes hands. Stuckey fields the ball at the 6. Clemson starts there. When we come back, score tied at 10. Our stats through 3 quarters presented by Red Roof Inn. Take a look. Rushing yardage for Clemson has been appreciable, and they've got another rush going here with Merriweather. Merriweather gets up to about the 8-yard line. A little bit of running room. Their worst field position of the day.
Anthony Waters had an opportunity to get the ball back and give Clemson some pretty good field position. He wasn't able to, but he sure brought home the bacon with that run stop. Now the pressure's on BC. And can BC find a way to generate a turnover and capitalize on this excellent field position?
This is a Clemson team that is not a quick starter, but once they get the gist of the program, they're very tough. Good play action, play fake by Whitehurst, who's got all day to pass complete. And that is going to be Aaron Kelly, the redshirt freshman from Marietta, Georgia. Ricky Brown on the tackle, but it moves the chains out over the 25-yard line.
And Kelly's the kind of target you want as a quarterback. 6'5", even caught us for a moment. Excellent play fake. Wide open, good throw and catch. See the movement of it. Boston College, you're a linebacker, you're sitting in there, and you're Ray Henderson. You go, where the heck is the ball? Good adjustment by 6'5" Kelly.
Well, he made a nice play fake to Reggie Merriweather. I mean, he really sold it. Hand off to Merriweather. This time, it didn't fake out Boston College one bit. Jim Ramella, true freshman from Westlake, Ohio, who backs up Nick Larkin, the defensive end, and as well as Jamie Silva in on the play.
Another freshman in the ball game, and we talked about rotating guys defensively in this weather. I guess Boston College do see a few new white shirts on the field.
That's right. Don't see Kiwanuka out there this series. His backup is on the field. Jake Ottolini, who's figured to play.
Yeah. Give him a blow in this particular series. If you can hold, boy, come back for the stretch run.
2nd down and about 11. Whitehurst the throw, pass complete. And it's LaDonte Harris's first catch of the year. The sophomore from Gadsden, Alabama, has enough to move the chains to the 41-yard line, a gain of 15.
Well, Harrison, 5'11", 185-pound sophomore. Again, you love guys that catch you with the hands, good little move at the end, shake and bake, give me a few more yards. And when you look at where this drive originated, you have to be pleased if you're a Tigers fan.
Deepest hole of the day, Doc, back at their 6th. Play now in its 5th. Drive is in its 5th play. Merriweather dances left. Not much going on there. Henderson comes up to help make the stop. Gain of about a yard.
That was a Toal factor.
Yeah, and Larkin as well.
One thing about it, boy, Brian Toal, he's a baller. And he's going to be around the football. And that's why you hear so much about a young man play, especially young and sophomore. But he is going to be vicious in this conference.
He and Ray Henderson combined for 152 tackles last year. Two good linebackers for Boston College. 2nd down and 9. James Davis now replaces Merriweather. There's the play action to him. BC doesn't buy it. Pass complete to the tight end. That's Hunter, and he's driven out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Jamie Silva laid the wood to him over there. And it's going to be a gain of about 3.
Well, 2 things happen on this. B.J. Raji's back in the ball game. Al Washington. So the rest paid off. Because look at the penetration by the Eagles. See, where you can get your big tackles to, get some pressure on the quarterback. I mean, you force him out, good things happen. Yeah, that was a good job. Raji, but I like him. Number 90 is I don't know if I'd invite him over for Thanksgiving dinner, but I'll tell you what, he's a good tackler.
One of those guys in orange will. 3rd down and 6. Clemson has not converted 3rd to 1st all day. Pass is complete. Make that 0 for 8 as Grant does not get enough. He's out to the 48-yard line. They needed the 49 of BC. Ricky Brown in on the tackle of Kelvin Grant.
Yeah, Ricky Brown has been solid. Again, this is a play where you got to have something happen. That's a pretty decent time by the offensive line, but, again, I'm always opposed and get worried when I see guys catch balls under the sticks. I want the route to get over the yard marker. Hello.
Cole Chasen getting ready to punt it away for the 7th time this afternoon.
We see it every week. We see it every week.
There's the kick. That takes a huge Clemson roll and goes out at the 5-yard line. It must have spent 25 yards on the ground for Cole Chasen, and that's where Boston College will start 1st and 10 with a score tie. ACC football is brought to you in part by Alltel. We're moving through the 4th quarter, 9:35 left to play. A 47-yard punt by Cole Chasen has backed up BC to their 5-yard line. This is the 4th possession for Boston College in the 2nd half. They started drives from the 15, 10, 19, 9, and now the 5. Short field has not been in the equation for Boston College, and Callender is upended by Anthony Waters at the 3-yard line. He falls ahead to the 5 for no gain.
Tell you what, that Jackson may be a freshman. I have to check his birth certificate because this guy's playing like a grad student. I mean, he's coming off the ball. Now he's down here, buddy. Watch him right in the center of your screen. Penetration. He gets that. He forces the back wider than he wanted to go, and it might have taken a knee or something in the back. But the Tigers don't want to lose this kid because he has stepped his game up considerably.
No question. And he's seen a lot of action today. Matter of fact, he wasn't even on the 2 deep. He was about 3 deep at Gaines Adams' bandit position. And he has acquitted himself quite well this afternoon. He got by Josh Beekman that time. He's still down on the field. And Rashad Jackson comes to the sideline with some assistance. And Boston College now getting ready to get back to work. 2nd down and 10 from their own 5-yard line. Matt Ryan waiting for the call from the sidelines as you look at field level. It's 85 degrees to start the day, but it's much warmer down there, and there's not a breath of air around.
It's stifling, but this is why you have 2-a-days.
Yep. Clemson practices in this every day. It's been like this since Jump Street this summer down here. the average start position. Ryan in his own end zone, passes complete to Callender, and Callender makes a miss in space, and that second effort got him a first down.
Boy, you talk about a game of inches. Matt Ryan, I mean, he was so lucky to get this off. It could have been disastrous. And Ty Hall had trying to move some offensive linemen around. We see a ground view of this, and right at the end, Rover seemed like he got in, had a shot at him. You can wait to see big number 7 for the Tigers in the ball game. He hadn't played a whole lot.
1st and 10. Callender straight ahead, gets up to about the 22-yard line. Gain of about 4 on the play as we look at our Hummer scoreboard and look for more news from Raleigh. And North Carolina has pulled ahead of NC State 28-24. These two teams don't like each other. I mean, just flat out don't. Miami 16-0. Yeah. John Bunning, Chuck Amato, not at the same table.
Oh boy.
Alabama leading, you saw there. Ohio State up over Iowa in the 3rd. Our score is tied 10-all. We're in the 4th with 8 to play. And off, here's Callender, and he's upended. Tremaine Billy got up underneath him. And he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain.
You know, Billy lines up in a number of different spots for the Tigers. A lot of times linebacker. Not a real big guy, but tough. Utilize his advantage, which is quickness.
3rd down coming for Boston College. On 3rd down this afternoon, they're 7 of 14, 50%. Challenger split wide out to the top. Blackman's in the slot to the bottom. Straight drop for Ryan. Pass is complete. At the 32-yard line, it is complete to Brandon Robinson, freshman from Minneapolis, his 2nd catch of the day. And he's got it good enough for a first down to move the chain.
A lot of young guys that are showing that they can play in the ACC in this ball game. That is fantastic pass protection. That's where it all starts. And you get a freshman who, you know, it's just, I can't imagine the pressure. The kid comes out of a stadium, seats 6,000 or 7,000 people, and all of a sudden he's in Death Valley making plays.
In front of 80,000. That's the youth and the BC receiver core. The reason why Blackman is with the offense this year. L.B. Whitworth doesn't get much yardage. Not much of a gain on the play.
Billy, what a play. Tremaine Billy, what a play. 205 pounds. See, buddy, it's not about size. Watch number 20 in orange. He's ricocheting around in there, but he came up on the play, buddy. But he had no fear factor. He threw his body in there. This kid's tough.
Whitworth has been limited to 36 yards on 11 carries this afternoon. BC on the ground, 134 yards. Callender's been the big back of the day. Ryan back to throw on 2nd and long. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Whitworth. Should have had it. And Lewis in on the play. Hadrian Lewis, true freshman from Charleston, South Carolina.
Tell you what, you talk about development depth. Tom O'Brien doesn't want to hear it right now, but they get over this one. They can get through this and get a victory in this ball game. He has 2 quarterbacks now he can win with. This kid, Matt Ryan, has shown everyone he can play.
A sweating crowd of 80,000 up on their feet. Ryan 18 of 31 for 161, and he's thrown a pick today. Throws this one up for grabs, but it's out of bounds in row 5 where it should be. Merling with the pressure, and the punt unit is on.
Merling has had his share of plays today. This is where you want your offensive line to give you dividends for this support, and they couldn't. Big Phillip, another freshman, 275 pounds, putting pressure on the quarterback.
Out of Memphis, Tennessee, Johnny Ayers is back to kick. Chancey Stuckey, who's returned one this season for 47 yards and a touchdown against Texas A&M, back to get this one at his own 25. There's line drive shot, and it's a good one. That is 14. Stuckey picks his way up the field, puts it on the ground. BC says they have it. They call it down. However, the field judge has called it down at the 29-yard line. Ray Henderson on the recovery. It's a 53-yard punt. And Clemson will take over with a score tied when we come back. Well, let's look at this play once again by Chancey Stuckey, questioning whether or not he was down on the ground. Looks like there was no replay on it, but his knees are clearly down on 1st and 10. This is Davis fighting for yards. BC's making it tough, but Davis fights his way out to the 32-yard line for about 3. And Nick Larkin is in on the tackle. Charlie Whitehurst. Let's watch the end of that play and watch Chancey Stuckey's knees and when the ball pops out. Knee down, ball out. Play dead. Good call.
And you did it with real speed. That's impressive.
Thank you. 2nd down and 7.
This is hero time now. Who wants to become a hero?
Whitehurst is tossed in the middle. You want a loose ball? They call it dead. It's forward pass. Incompleted as Merriweather couldn't get a handle on it. That's a dangerous play.
Complete when it hit the ground. 3rd down.
Tommy Bowden looking on, looking at 3rd down here. Clemson has not converted a 3rd down into 1st at all this afternoon. 0 for 8.
And BC's had a little something to do with that.
Yep. Well, they stopped the last one 3rd and 1. They got great penetration. Bayham in motion across the receiver, give him 3 receivers that side. Whitehurst looking that way, incomplete.
That was more of a slip than the ball being off, but they had an opportunity there.
Tyler Grisham, who is a promising freshman, in on the play. That's who they were looking for right there. And that'll bring the punter on once more time. Cole Chasen, he'll have to get a good one out of here. Blackman and Tribble are back. Chasen's been a busy man this afternoon.
Who would have thought the punters would have had the exposure they've had in this ball game?
I'm telling
you.
you.
We were concerned about them in the pregame.
Maybe still. Chasen on for his 8th kick. 5:14 left to play. The specter of overtime hanging here as BC will let this one go out of bounds, and it'll be marked out at the 32-yard line. And BC sets up shop at their own 33-yard line. Boston College looking for their first ACC conference win, and this is a tough place to come and get it.
It's the toughest. What you have to ask yourself now is that who wants to be a hero? Because this is the time the heroes are made. Crunch time, 4th quarter. Fatigue, you got to forget about it. Somebody's got to step up and make a play.
Best field position of the 2nd half for Boston College. Their handoff to Callender. He's been their most reliable back, and he picks up some extra effort yardage to the 40-yard line. That's 7 yards on the game. David Dunham.
Well, you're just watching guys on that offensive line for BC who continue to block, even sometimes beyond the whistle. We don't see that every week. The big fellas continuing to drive people all the way in the ground if need be.
Callender, 18 carries, 94 yards. 2nd down and about 3. He's got it again. And falls ahead for another Boston College 1st down at the 45-yard line. Gaines Adams in on the tackle.
And sometimes you just have to get back into what you do best.
We got another Clemson player down. It's Rashid Jackson. And he is down with his right arm pinned underneath him. That's not good. Rashad Jackson came back into the ball game after being hurt and assisted from the field in the last defensive series. He's down there again. That stops the clock with 4:27 running. Both teams have all of their timeouts left as we head to the end game here. And once again, Tommy Bowden's team find itself locked in a battle at the end of the contest. 9 of the last 14 games that Clemson's been involved in has been decided by 7 points or less.
Yeah, and they're going to have to get used to it. I'm sure sometimes they're a bit uncomfortable with the way they've adjusted their offense, but I think in the long run, Steve, it's going to bring them championship football.
Well, the defense has been equal at both sides of the line here this afternoon. We're seeing some examples of it. That was a denial of Brian Toal going on 4th and short. And the long delay on the field caused by the continuing look at Rashad Jackson's injury here. The redshirt freshman from Union, South Carolina, 6'3", 270. Hummer scoreboard shows North Carolina back out in front, 28-24. Miami leading. 16-0, and that shoulder doesn't look good. Alabama leading Arkansas in the third, 10-3. And Ohio State has made the deficit even deeper on Iowa, 30-6. Boy, Iowa's season went south in a hurry with that loss to Iowa State. Minnesota 20-14 over Purdue, and an upset in the making there. Not so at Champaign. Michigan State up big. All right, Jackson comes off the field. That may be for the last time today.
Yeah, he didn't look good, but he also, you don't want to give Boston College and this offense a time to get this offensive line to recover. Another point of interest as well is that last series, BC rested a lot of their offensive linemen, and Don Horton was able to get some of his number 2 guys in, so his ones are fresh.
1st and 10. Ryan to throw from his own 45 to the flats. It is complete to Whitworth. He lost the ball, but it rolls out of bounds.
Talk about bringing the house down.
Yeah, Watkins.
That's
Nick Watkins is sophomore from New Orleans, along with Dwayne Coleman.
Well, they've run this play several times today. Got a good little touch on it. And that's just putting the helmet right on the ball. That's an excellent tackle.
Nick Watkins with the play. The ball popped loose. Heads out of bounds, but they blew it dead.
Clemson, I'll tell you what, buddy, they bring the lumber.
2nd down and 11 out of the shotgun. Ryan. 4-man rush. Pass complete to Callender. 1 missed tackle. Coleman makes the stick and drives him out of bounds. It's going to stop the clock at the 47-yard line. It's a gain on the play of 8 yards. It'll still leave Boston College short of the first down by 2.
Every play now is a play that puts you closer to victory or guarantees defeat. Now that missed tackle could be a turning point. I mean, this kid has shown a lot. Callender has shown how tough he is. Watkins, who's pretty sure tackler. That time he didn't get a grip on it. But a Callender is a young man who plays bigger than his 205 pounds.
3rd down and 2 for Boston College this afternoon. The Eagles are 8 of 16. And Ryan now comes to the sidelines, and he'll burn one of the Eagles' remaining 3 timeouts. Total yards by half. Boston College fairly consistent. So have the Tigers been. And a tribute to both offenses, because the defenses have been a lot tougher than that yardage suggests.
Well, one thing for sure, we've got 2 pretty good football teams in front of us, Steve.
Yeah.
And 2 teams that will, in fact, control their destiny, and they'll play at bowl games, and they'll have all the trimmings of success. But a lot of young guys on the field, so we're looking at long-term success, on both sidelines, and it's great for the conference.
No question. Quentin Porter, the 5th-year senior quarterback, he sprained an ankle earlier against Florida State last weekend. He did practice Thursday, was not too mobile. There's Matt Ryan. He's listening to the call from the sidelines. Dana Bible up in the booth. And Ryan comes back out onto the field today. This young man, a sophomore from Exton, Pennsylvania, has had a pretty good day. 20 of 34, 169 yards. He threw 1 pick that stopped the drive in the end zone. 3rd down and 2 with the score tied and 2.5 to play. Clemson sends 1 pass complete to Gonzalez for the first down. And he's brought down at the Clemson 37-yard line. Tackle by Jamal Fudge. It's a gain of 10, and it moves the chains.
Well, you talk about no fear. They go empty backfield and tell the young quarterback, we're going to put it in your hands, your arm, you make it happen. And Tony Gonzalez comes up with another big play. Now that, folks, is in-your-face football.
1st and 10 at the 37.
You don't often think you can do that in the air, but you can show some attitude. What are they doing now?
Trying to get enough people on the line of scrimmage. Here is Callender, turns the corner, and he's close to the century mark, driven out of bounds. They'll call him out at the 34-yard line. Make it a gain of 3. Nick Watkins to drive him out.
Coach O'Brien's over there going, what is going on? Oh, yeah, good job, guys. Good job.
Callender's been able to run wherever he wants this afternoon.
We've seen 2 young men in the backfield. Merriweather, James Davis, young freshman for Clemson. Callender has been quite impressive. But Matt Ryan might have just had the throw of his young career.
Yes, he did on that 3rd down play. Callender now 20 carries, 103 yards. 2nd down and 7. Boston College at the 34 of Clemson. Callender again. This time shot down by Waters. He spills ahead, and they'll give him an extra yard on that to the 31. So that makes another 3 yards for this young man.
Anthony Waters. I like the kid. Good blocking up front. There he gets in, outside in position. Gets a lot of help from his friends, but nobody goes after the football.
Donnell Clark also in there.
At this point, you're Clemson Tigers. You got to go in there and try to pull that football out of his arm.
We're getting in the range of Ryan Oliger. Has the ball now at the 31. Ryan.
Oh boy, he almost made a big mistake.
And he's going to throw it out of bounds wisely.
Anthony Waters nearly baited him into an interception. I'll tell you what, he almost baited him into the INT. And this is where Coach O'Brien is saying to himself, well, you know, we're going to have to take this shot. They got away from the run a bit, but the kid made big plays with his arm, so you got to live with it.
Oliger's coming on. This is from the 31-yard line, so 41 plus 7. It's going to be a 48-yard attempt. This would be his longest field goal of his career. From 48 yards out of the hold of Matt Ryan, and this is for the lead with 1:19 left. It is down, but it is wide. The Clemson defense holds, and they'll get the football back with 3 timeouts and 70 yards to go for a score. The home solid orange approval of the play brings the offense back out onto the field. There's a reaction. Here comes the kick. It's going to be wide and short. 1st and 10, Clemson at their own 31. 1:14 left to play. Charlie Whitehurst with yet another chance to win a game at the end. Here's Whitehurst to throw. Pass behind Aaron Kelly's back. A dangerous pass.
You got a Tiger down, another Tiger down.
Let's see who this is. This looks like an interior lineman. It looks like it might be Brandon Pilgrim.
You're right. I don't see a 74 standing. So
that's how I did it.
Oh, you do it that way
That's
too?
how
Yeah.
I did it. I looked
by
okay.
elimination. Yeah.
Let's see. 79's there. 62, 63, 75. Who isn't there? 74. Whitehurst 17 of 25, but only 133 yards. Let's see that ball again.
Oh, I can see exactly what happened with Pilgrim. He tried like a little button cut technique on the offensive line and might have caught a knee right in the helmet.
Now, 2nd on the depth chart is the sophomore Chris McDuffie. Was a defensive tackle, and he's been converted to the offensive line.
Love those guys.
Usually it goes the other way around.
Oh, you love those. If you can get a guy on offense to play defense, then he really helps you become. If you know, he becomes a really good guy in short yardage and goal line. Has a little hot sauce in his grits.
All right, Pilgrim comes off the field. Let's take a look at the top 25, and you see 5 ACC teams. These 2 teams dropped out with their losses last week, which was amazing to me because I felt that if anybody would hang in there, the ACC teams would hang in there, not UCLA.
That's
Wasn't
tradition.
sure about them.
That's tradition. Sometimes the voters are just swayed because they're accustomed to seeing them at the top.
UCLA alum Doc Walker there. Here comes Merriweather in a big opening play. Nice hole on the play on 2nd down. Brings it out over the 35-yard line to the 37. Merriweather has run well. The Clemson ground game, despite the fact going up against the 3rd best rushing defense in the country, has converted close to 100 yards on the day. Matter of fact, 192 right now. Another 3rd down.
You can't have anything more gratifying having lost in overtime a week ago if the Tigers are able to get themselves in position and win this one.
40 seconds and counting. Overtime looking us right square in the face. Merriweather does not get enough for the first down. Nope, he's to the 40 and that's it. And now Charlie Whitehurst implores the sideline to let the offense stay on another play. Tommy Bowden has got to talk about it. 4th and 1. We don't see Chase and stir. And a timeout call by Boston College here with 31 seconds left to play in regulation. BC will call time, and Tommy Bowden is looking at the distance here and says, why not? And he's got some rationale behind it. Boston College has not been a big play offense this afternoon. They've got their second line quarterback in. He's acquitted himself well, but his head's been jarred today. Yeah. And you get a first down here, you have a chance to get this done in regulation. But, well, Clemson's been here before, Doc, and short yardage has not been a sure thing for them.
But this is a game that's so strange in that how many plays have we had over 20 yards more in the air? Maybe 2. And so this has been a game of, it's like body shots, 2 boxers just going at the body. Nobody's really going after the head.
There have been in this game 4 plays, running and passing, that have been what you described.
Yeah,
crunch play.
Absolutely.
Here's our game summary. Andre Callender's got 100 yards on the day, rushes it in close. That makes it good enough for Matt Ryan to get it in. They made it 10-0. Then he took a hard shot on that play plus a holding penalty. Clemson got momentum, and Davis carried it down where Charlie Whitehurst takes it in from 1 yard out and ties the score at 10. That was all in the first half. We've had no scoring in the second, and the defenses have been equal to the task. Right now we come back on 4th and 1, and Cole Chason's back on the field. Tommy Bowden says we'll not take a chance here on 4th and 1. We're going to punt it away. Blackman and Tribble are back for Boston College. It's headed Blackman's way at the 19. And he goes down, dropped the ball, but it's blown dead at the 31-yard line. It's an 11-yard return of that 43-yard kick. So Clemson does little on their series, and BC will get one more chance with 1 timeout and 22 seconds left to play in regulation, and they'll start from their own 31-yard line. And their fortunes in the hands of the sophomore from Exton, Pennsylvania, Matt Ryan.
We also have to credit coverage teams for Clemson because Blackman has not been able to yield a big play. We know the capabilities that he has.
Ryan heads back to the huddle. Boston College with the ball. 21 of 36 Ryan is on the day. 1 interception, no touchdown, 178 yards. And he's 69 yards away right now. Play action. Going downtown, going for Miller is tight end. It is complete at the 41 of Clemson. For 28 yards. BC moving the football, 14 seconds left. The clock is stopped to move the chains. And now Ryan will down the football and stop the clock with 13 seconds left.
We see 3.5 quarters with it. Oh, I just said how many plays have we had over 20 yards? And then they come right out and catch it too deep. Tight end gets down the seam. Perfect throw. Good catch. Now you put yourself in a position for a big play.
2nd down and 10, 13 seconds left to go. They need more yardage to get in Ryan Oliver's field goal range. He missed the 48-yarder just a moment ago.
I'm just so tempted. Take a shot at the end zone.
They need about 12 yards to get into range. There's the rush. Adams putting the hit on Ryan. He throws it away, and that stops the clock with 8 seconds left. Gaines Adams holds a meeting over Matt Ryan.
Boy, this kid is tough. He's taking some hits, and this time you get a perfect no-hitter. Whitworth, you can't let a guy 270 pounds come in on your quarterback. And that was not a great effort.
3rd down and 10. 8 seconds left. BC with 1 timeout left. Overtime staring us in the face.
Hero time.
Lester wide right. Blackman wide left. Gonzalez in the slot. The pass picked off. Ty Hill looking for blockers. Headed to the sideline. still on his feet. We're going to overtime.
There's your hero for now.
That's the second time Clemson stopped a BC drive with an interception. One was in their own end zone. And Ty Hill comes up with it to end it at regulation. We've got overtime staring us in the face because of Ty Hill's interception of a Matt Ryan pass. We'll look at it again.
We've seen Ty Hill play some good football. Been waiting on it. He comes through with a big play. Jumped on it. Matt might have telegraphed it a bit, but why not? He's trying to make a play. And here's a young man that's competing.
Ty Hill with the interception. Well, we've got some extra duty to do here at Death Valley. 10-10, Boston College and Clemson tied. Boston College and Clemson couldn't decide it in regulation, so we go to overtime. Boston College and Clemson tied at 10. And for Clemson, the second straight week they've had to use an extra session. Last week's triple overtime loss to Miami was their first loss in overtime after 5 wins. So they carry a 5-1 overtime record into this extra frame. And we're getting ready for the all-important coin toss here. As Lionel Richardson will go out to center field. And he is going to meet with the Boston College captains. That's Patrick Ross and Matthias Kiwanuka. Scott McElwee will officiate the toss, and typically the team that wins the toss chooses to go on defense first.
Been the strong suit for both sides in this ball game. Here we go.
BC wins the coin toss from all appearances. Of course, Clemson gets to pick which end zone they'll attack.
Boston College has won the toss and elected to play defense. Clemson will play on the scoreboard end of the field.
So let's go to the sidelines and Scott Przwanski.
Well, it is indeed old hat for the Clemson Tigers, and the players know it too. As a matter of fact, Anthony Waters leading the charge, walking up down the sideline saying, guys, we've been here before. We've been here before. And Steve, as you mentioned, they have 8 of their last 9 games have been decided by a touchdown or less. They'll get a shot at it again here in a couple minutes.
We'll get ready to go, and the BC end of the field, they will be headed in toward the end zone that they were going toward in the third quarter. At the scoreboard end of the field, you get 4 downs plus first downs as you start from the 25-yard line. And then when you score, the other team gets an opportunity. If they don't match your score, you win. Simple as that. Sounds very simple. Miami.
It's all simple if we just get to watch.
That's right. It's very simple.
But
for guys like Tom O'Brien and Tommy Bowden, not simple at all.
Yeah, but it's tough. But you can say, well, there's some experience because you were there last week. There's also that added fatigue.
Well, the fact of the matter, the complexion of this game in the second half, neither team has had much experience at the short end of the field. Whitehurst on 1st and 10. Pass is incomplete, intended for Richardson. Bobby Williamson, rather, his 5th-year senior tight end from Tarpon Springs, Florida.
Passing game, we've had missed opportunities on both sides. Good play action, you know, and he froze Ray Henderson just enough to get the throwing lane. See, Henderson 3, middle of your screen. It was right there. Got to make that catch. I mean, we're in winning time now. Somebody's got to make a play for the victory.
Boston College, this is their 5th overtime game. They're 1-3 in the Tom O'Brien era, the last 9 years at Boston College. Blitz is on. Whitehurst delivers. Pass complete. It's to Kelly, and he is down. The ball is loose. And it is going to be a Clemson first down at the Boston College 13-yard line. Nick Larkin knocked the ball loose, but it was blown dead.
BC with some pressure. Henderson right up the gut. Good catch. And I like this kid, Kelly, 6'5" freshman. And here at the end, you see what he's doing is that he's competing. The kid is trying to make some things happen. Almost lost it at the end.
Yep, he was down. 1st and 10 from the 13. There's the overtime record of both these schools, and we've got a whistle and a timeout. Called by Clemson. Have 1 timeout in each overtime session, and they have used theirs here. Now, of course, the other, if you're not familiar with overtime, if there is a defensive turnover, in other words, let's say Whitehurst throws an interception, or that ball is not blown dead and the fumble's returned for a touchdown, game is over.
Checkmate.
Now, if Clemson does not score, then this becomes a short task for BC. I would expect them to run a couple of plays, get themselves a little bit closer to make Oliver's job a little bit easier.
Either way you look at it, I like this as opposed to man's football version.
Oh, yeah.
I just think you play your guts out for 4 quarters. You want to be given an opportunity on both sides of the ball to show your worth. This will be an excruciating loss should BC not pull this out, because they were on the doorstep. You're on the 2-yard line with your offense, and you get nothing out of it. And you're in a tie ball game. That says a lot.
Carolina leading NC State 31-24 in the 4th at Raleigh. We're tied up at 10 in overtime, and 1st and 10 for Clemson at the BC 13. Harrell in motion. Play fake to Merriweather. Whitehurst to pass complete. It is going to be to Jackson, his fullback. And it's for exactly 3 yards down to the 10-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, Dribble closed the cushion on that. They tried to drag the tight end across the middle. That's exactly what they wanted. And good fake action. We've seen that all afternoon long. But Dribble closes well. Puts the pop.
Clemson comes back now, 2nd down and 6. Give him 4 on the play. Bayham split wide to the bottom side. Kelly to the top. Blitz is on. Handoff Merriweather. And was 1 tackle away from breaking it into the end zone.
That's still a good run.
Brought down by Larkin at the 6.
Twice now that BC has had guys almost looks like a little zone blitzing versus the run and just didn't pick the right hole.
And here comes
Merriweather. I like his vision, Steve. I mean, he has run his way out of the jam more than once this afternoon.
77 yards for Merriweather. 3rd down and 2. Clemson 0 for 10 on 3rd downs today. Harrell in motion. Handoff. Merriweather. Nothing doing. Guess who's at the bottom of that pile? Brian Toal.
You could have predicted that one, huh?
Yep. Larkin there too, but Toal right down there where it hurt. And the field goal unit has to come on.
Toal, he's unique. He really is. Again, Kiwanuka, we've been talking about him, and don't think that doesn't have an impact on all of this, his presence alone, but this kid, Brian Toal, he's a stud.
So Dean is on to kick out of the hold of Cole Chase, and it'll be a 29-yard field goal. He hit a 36-yarder today that put Clemson on the board. This could give Clemson the lead the first time this afternoon. Kick is up, and it is good. Chad Dean, his 11th field goal of the season. The 29-yarder puts Clemson ahead 13-10, and now the Boston College Eagle offense will take the field from the 25-yard line, and they'll have a shot. And to win, they've got to score a touchdown. To force another overtime, it's another field goal. To avoid the loss, it's got to be another field goal.
Well, the big plays have come tight end down the seam. They have not been shy when it comes to throwing a slant route. Tony Gonzalez had a couple of them. You haven't really seen Will Blackman involved in a ton of plays offensively, but he's always a threat as a playmaker.
What BC's done in the red zone this afternoon, 3 possessions, a field goal and a touchdown and an interception. They're not there yet, but they could be soon. 1st and 10. Play action. Here is Ryan. Hit as he threw. And the ball is picked up by Boston College. It's going to be Callender. And it's ruled an incompleted pass as his arm was headed forward.
Where has Gain Adams been this whole ball game? And I just have to continually say that the way they alternated their defensive players, I mean, that's a big-time pass rush. And you're going against Trueblood rather on the left side. You know, who's a big-time player for Boston College.
That's the 40th ball Ryan has thrown today. He's completed 22, 207, and 2 interceptions. 2nd down and 10. We're in overtime. Ryan has time. Ball complete. Callender brought down by Waters. Gain on the play of about 3. Under about the 21-yard line. And this definitely is in Ollinger's field goal range.
Pretty decent pass, bro. Boy, that jump. And then once again, that's Gaines Adams, who has just decided to take the game over.
3rd down and 6. Ryan giving the play to Callender. Boston College has converted 50% of their 3rd down plays today. Ryan, middle of the field, complete to Lester for the 1st down. Beautiful ball, the tackle made by Tremaine Billy, but not before he got to the 11-yard line, and that brought the crowd to dead silence on the 10-yard gain.
Talk about composure. I mean, Matt Ryan just stayed in there. His heart's got to be beaten quick as a mockingbird, and he just hangs in there and puts his ball right up. Lester with a good catch. BC on the move.
10-yard gain, they're at the 10. Just outside the 10, they can get a 1st down. Here is Callender, who's been money today. Headed inside the 5. He's got it in the end zone or no? They're going to mark him down at the 2.
Boy, you talk about a bull run there. I'd have to take another look at this. This young man has run this way all afternoon against a highly spirited group of Tigers on Clemson. Watch this, folks. The cutback is important. When he lowers those shoulders, he's down for business. The spin, the move, that looks like score to me. And you watch him again, going over the pile, through the pile, trying to make a big play. Folks, it looked like a touchdown from my vantage.
Well, his arm went down. Here is Ryan trying to push it in. BC signaling touchdown, but that did not get in.
Yeah.
He got pretty close, but it didn't get in. They had Toal in the backfield. He's their short yardage back.
Well, this offense is designed to be, you've got,
look how
you've
close
got
they are.
Lynch and Palmer, 2 battering rams. And the way this kid Callender's run behind that offensive line, this is what BC was built to do.
BC on the verge of winning this in overtime. They have about 6 inches to go. Toal is the setback behind Patty Lynch. Miller in motion. Brian Toal, touchdown, Boston College. And they win in overtime. Brian Toal, for the 3rd time this season, has scored from short yardage. Tom O'Brien tracks across the field as the Eagles have pulled off their first ACC win. They win one on the road in one of the toughest venues possible in front of 80,000 orange-clad Clemson fans. Brian Toal from 1 yard out. And there's no doubt here.
No.
BC on the sidelines. Let's go to Scott Przwanski.
Coach O'Brien, what can you say about the effort of your club here? A tremendous effort. You know, we came in, we didn't have our quarterback. We were missing a couple guys. We hung in there in this heat. Us boys from the north didn't melt. Now they know that the Yankees can play.
And Matt Ryan didn't play perfect, but got the job done.
Oh, hey, a win's a win, and we'll take anything we got here. Thank you.
Okay, that's Coach O'Brien. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Scott Przwanski. That's the final score. Boston College gets 6 when they need it in overtime, and they defeat the Clemson Tigers 16-13. Back after this word from your local ACC station.